Perfect. Salute, and welcome back to the Black Ocean. Now swinging deep in with your host, the one and only Great Black Shark. And yes, family, tonight we are going to have to discuss what you saw on the thumbnail, our lineage, our rules. Oh yes, 2024 is the year that we're going to make that 100% adamantly crystal clear for all of these other groups outside of our lineage. As you all know, in case you didn't catch the last broadcast done on this channel, it's going to actually be very germane to what we're going to be discussing here tonight, because see, I will make this disclaimer and everybody should know it, but just for anybody new that's listening to this on the playback, foundational Black American freedmen, we do not have a problem with all Black immigrants. The only ones we have a problem with are the tether class. Meaning that if you come here, and not just continental Africans or Caribbeans, we're talking all of you that come here from other lineages and tether on to our culture, our tax dollars, and try to undermine us and tell us what we shouldn't have and practice anti-Black racism against us when our elders and ancestors sacrificed for you to have a chance to bring yourself over here, okay? So that's who we're talking to. But furthermore, we're going to have to get some things straightened out amongst our own lineage as well, because see, one of the things that I want to encourage all of you gathered here listening to me here tonight is, like I said, nobody can do everything, but everybody can do something and be excellent at whatever that thing is you choose to do. And if you have yet to find that purpose, I want to encourage you to be around like-minded people that will help you do it, okay? And if you can't do that where you are, if the number is few or you just can't find anybody around, then this is why it's important to congregate in new Black media spaces where you can find like-minded people that are focused on Black empowerment. Because see, one of the things that we're going to break the habit of, and we're at a very critical time, a critical hour in our history now, between on-code Gen X, on-code millennials, and on-code Gen Z, we have a chance to do something that previous generations did not do, and that's put ourselves first in Black society. We're not supposed to be the mules for other people that come in and latch on to our causes and then use that to springboard their own issues. Yes, I know a lot of you are probably wondering if I saw the despicable display that happened at AME Church. Yes, I saw it. I saw it. I'm going to be doing some commentary on that soon here, because see, let's talk about that briefly before we get into what we're going to discuss here tonight. One of the things that I want to be particularly instrumental in doing is encouraging people, and no matter which Black church you're a part of, to enforce the line about, listen, there's a separation between church and state, and you shouldn't have these politicians coming to our place of worship. especially if they haven't been proven to do anything for the community. Along with that as well, and some of you might be offended at this, but if your church fit the description, then Hit Dog's just gonna holler. Anytime there's a tragedy or an issue in the Black community, the Black church should be front and center with funding. That's right, I said it. They should be front and center with funding. If there's a situation where a family needs a lawyer to deal with some of these race soldiers, you should come with no less than 50 grand if you're a mega church. You should. If there's a situation where Black children need aid or help, you should be first. Now, I know there's a few Black churches that still do that, but it's not the majority. We got to be honest about that. Oh, yeah, I'm going to go in on that in a future broadcast, okay? So tonight, we're going to be examining some conversation that was held by our good brother Tariq Nasheed in one of his Twitter spaces, and I found these particular clauses that I'm going to highlight in it very interesting because, it's the reason why we're going to have to let a lot of people know in that tether class that it's our lineage, our rules. You ran away from where you're from, and you're not even proud enough when asked to say what country you're from. You know what I'm saying? So if you are that ashamed of your lineage and your country, don't bring that shameful attitude over here around us. We're proud of our people and who we are, okay? You ask us where we're from, we tell you the city, the state. Hey, our family last name, we are not ashamed of any of that. That's you people. You're not going to project that failure mentality onto us. We're going to start shutting that down because, see, 2024, let me tell you something. With the information that all of us have, it's come through trial and error for some. Okay, if you one of the bisexuals and you've seen the light, come on over here. Come on over here and get on the side that tried to tell you that it was a mistake to put this demon in office that we have here that's tearing this country up, man. Now you have a chance to do the right thing because whatever decision you make in this upcoming election here in 2024, you better understand that it's not something that's going to be trivial. Now, we get it. There's some that's lost that you cannot reach, and it is what it is on that scenario right there. But you don't worry about them because, not to be morbid, but life is happening to that demographic, that older demographic, that there's less and less of them. And now what a lot of the Democrats and both parties are going to be left with, you're going to have to deal with Generation X. You're going to have to deal with millennials and Gen Z. And we all about tangibles. You're not going to be able to pull the symbolism trick on us, okay? So we're going to discuss that and a lot more here tonight. But before we get into that, let me do what I normally do and greet my esteemed guests. Let me make sure I scroll up and see who I see in the building joining us here tonight. I see the sister RY in the building. I see Chi Banana. I see the sister Stun Z in the building. Patricia Jenkins, the excellent librarian. My brother James is in the house. Patricia Slade is in here. Kevin Blackwell. I see Opal Ivy. See Chief X Ali in here. Mrs. L, salute to you and your husband, sister. Matrice O3 in the house. The good sister Netta Jade, Netta Bug, like I like to call her. What's going on, sister? I see BG in the house in here. Let's see. I see a Goddess Navi joining us. My good brother CRU, the computer maker and beat maker. I say again, if you need a customized computer or custom-made beats, that is the man to hit up. He does excellent professional quality work. There's the brother Bruce in the house. I see Amir L, Kevin Jose or Josie Jr. Forgive me if I butchered that, brother. I see ATLian _007. I see Joy 31608. Let's see, Sidonian Snow in the house. Pasta B1FBA. 7 Skills in here. Dad Miller TV. I see D. Foster in the building, Mickey Brooks. Let's see, Shirara's World, welcome. My good brother, Project Leroy. Salute to all of you and welcome to everyone in attendance here tonight. So, family, like I said, we're going to analyze portions of these different conversations. And like I said, sometimes, our brother Tariq, he does the impromptu X spaces or Twitter spaces, whatever they want to call it now. And, I catch him here and there. Sometimes I'm in there, sometimes I'm not. But when I miss him, I find certain things in those spaces that the brother has. I'm like, okay, this is worth re-examining. Okay. So we're going to examine a couple of calls that he took in a previous Twitter space here. And here's another thing too, family. It's one particular call we're going to get to in this space tonight. Well, when we touch on it, I'm going to really have to go in, okay, on that caller because listen, man, we are in a year where we're definitely fighting for our lives in a number of different aspects, okay, in a number of different aspects. And as far as upon the men, or as we're concerned, we don't have time to hold our head down and throw no pity party. No, it's time to roll sleeves up and get to work in whatever way you're able to do it, okay? You might not be able to do what each and every one of us do that have a few more resources or a little bit more knowledge. That's okay. That's okay. You do what you can to advance the movement forward in your area. In fact, the business, the good brother Marcel, Greg Dixon, and the good brother Black Alpha Network, for those of you that are in the South Carolina area on the 15th, those brothers are going to need your help, okay? You probably seen it on X or what have you. They're going to need your help dealing with a particular issue, because one of the things about me over here on this channel, if I co-sign anybody or if I tell you that, hey, check out what this brother or sister is doing, you better believe that that person is solid. I don't endorse or throw my weight behind anybody. Brother Greg Marcel Dixon's a good friend of mine. The good brother Black Alpha Network, you've seen him out here on the ground. So they're going to have something going on in South Carolina on the 15th. And if you're able to get to that area, please try to go out there and support them, because, see, we're in a time now where everything that we say we want done, it's on us to make that happen, okay? See, one of the mistakes of previous generations was waiting around for other people to do things, and it kind of put a lot of Black society, back in, not just picking on the boomers, but we got to look at the time period. During that generation, especially after the morale was taken out of our people with the losses of Dr. Martin Luther King and the good brother Malcolm X, okay, their ancestors now. What a lot of people did, it demoralized them, and then it led them to almost being in like a childlike state of like, just, okay, the important stuff, we'll let other people handle it. I'm telling you, that day is over. That day is over. We gonna keep foot on neck, and when it comes to any type of political like dealings with us from either party, it's business transaction mindset only. Business over everything. You come with your hand out to us, you better come offering something in the other hand. It's going to have to be an exchange. It's not going to just be a handout, and when you get something from us, which will be our votes, and then you be like, okay, we'll see you next vote, niggers. No. When your hand go out to get a vote, you better be having some tangibles in exchange. You know what I'm saying? That's how it's going to have to go from here on out. And see, before we get started, let me say this one last thing. Don't think that just because they've seen us backing away from a lot of what they got going on and calling them out in person, don't think that they're gonna back down. No, we're gonna have to break their backs politically, okay? It's time for political punishment. We're gonna have to show them better than we can tell them. And one of the things I don't want all of you to do is start thinking that, oh, it ain't enough for us to do this or that. Let me tell you something, man. We are not outnumbered. We are out organized a lot of times. Do you hear me? See, I hate to keep bringing everything back to warfare and military references, but as you all know my background, let me tell you something. The teams that I won, they weren't very big teams, but we got a hell of a lot done. I'll tell you that. I don't like to talk about that and glorify it, because I don't want any more of our young Black men and women going into the armed forces. I just feel like we've given them enough. But I'll say this, you can get a lot done with an organized small team when everybody is focused on the task at hand, okay? So with that said, we're going to get into examining this conversation here, and we'll be stopping it as need be. It's going to be a lot to learn from this if you didn't catch it the first time around. So we're finna get started here tonight.
Let's get, I can't pronounce your name. Looks like an East African name, ma'am. What's your name, ma'am? We got a lot of people in here in the middle of the night. We almost got 1,000 people, and it's in the middle of the night, man. Glad to have y'all in here. Miss Ma'am, I think you have an East African name. I don't know what your name is, but I can't
I'm
pronounce it.
Hara. Hi, Tariq.
How are you, ma'am?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I am good. Thank you so much. Now, are you from Somalia or Eritrea?
Ethiopia.
Ethiopia. All right. So what's on your mind, ma'am?
No, I just want to make sure that you know I do support you and your documentary films of hidden colors and all that stuff. But what I don't understand is what is the benefit of disconnecting foundational Black Americans from Africans?
Salute to my good sister, the first sergeant, some chick named Star, for the cash app. Thank you very much, my sister. But before our brother Flex goes in here, right, because, he's about to go ahead and break this down perfectly, I want to go ahead and add some commentary to answering that the lady's question here. I'm saying this on behalf of many, those of us who are foundational Black American freedmen, continental Africans in particular, I want you to listen to this, okay? When you come to us and you say, why are you separating yourself? Because we're acknowledging our specific lineage, foundational Black American freedmen. Some call it by other names, but you all get the point. It's the lineage we're talking about that we come from, those of us in America that are Black, that are not immigrants to this country, okay? Because we acknowledge who we are and we're organizing around our culture, it doesn't mean we hate you. It does not mean that we're divisive. What it means is we're putting ourselves first, because see, what I want many of you to do when you ask that question is start being students of history as pertains to this country. See, many of you will come here and you don't even study what it was that got you here. See, a lot of them, believe it or not, family, a lot of them think that white people wanted them here. When in reality, you look back at the civil rights era, they did not want you here. We had to fight for you to have the right to come here. Your parents, okay, if you were born over here, they need to be teaching you that part of the history. That's where the ungrateful part comes in. And then when you come at us talking about lazy accountants, this, that, and the third, not that this sister said that, but you're ignorant of, okay, listen, you need to be humble. Because if we didn't get out there and say, hey, let our Black brothers and sisters from other nations over here, you wouldn't be here today. They didn't want you here. Because see, at that time, the white supremacist mindset was more of, okay, we already got niggers here we don't want. Okay, this is how they think. We need to deal with these Negroes and try to set up as much of an ethno state as possible. Okay, but see, the only reason that they really agreed to start letting you over here, besides us stomping for it, what they wanted was they said, okay, you know what? Because there's two tiers of white supremacists, and basically, you got the goofy, what I call 3-2 Tony class, the grunts that run around out here trying to harm Black people and do dirty work. And then you have the more sophisticated, intelligent ones that say, wait a minute, if we let them over here and coon screen them and then, you know, tell them that they're better than the Black Americans, we can actually weaponize them against these Negroes that do not yield to white supremacy. See, that's what you all don't get when they tell you you're not like those Black Americans. They're blowing smoke up your ass to use you as a useful idiot, okay? That's exactly what's going on. Now, to deal with what this sister is saying, I'm going to tell y'all this before we let our brother Flex break this down. When it comes to that whole your divisive term, let me say this in no uncertain terms, and I'm not going to apologize about it. Division is good when you're dividing for something that's non-constructive, that's detrimental, and that's poisonous to your particular group, okay? You think about it, if a body had cancer, in order for that body to heal, you have to get rid of that cancer. So if you come over here as a member of the tether class and start telling us what we don't need to have as far as reparations and talking about we don't need, you know, to acknowledge our history, and every time we look up, you pretty much taking a position of a Candace Owens, okay, or our own coons like Larry Elder, then we're going to have to look at you as, okay, that's the position you take. You over there with them. Yes, we're dividing from you, okay? Because see, unlike you, we do not look at the white demographic of this country, the dominant society. We do not look at them as deities. See, I got to say it, and if it stings, hit dogs are gonna holler. A lot of you look at them as unbeatable guys. So you rather say, okay, if I just took my head and accepted abuse from them, then that means I'm smarter than the rest of y'all. Look at me, I'm winning. Problem. There's no place in history in anywhere in the world where people ignores tyranny and then they come out the winner. What happens is you get generations of subjugation. See, we're trying to break this system of white supremacy and replace it with a system of justice. So if you're too afraid to join us in doing that, then we politely ask that you stand aside. Because if you stand over there with our oppressors, then you're going to get dealt with like our oppressors. See, that whole, okay, we not Black. Hey, we finally accepted that. When we hear that come out your mouth, that's permanent. There is no walking that back. As far as those like myself are concerned, now, I can't speak for everybody in my chat room. Can't speak for everybody that's listening. When I hear that, you're done. Okay, you're right. I agree. You're not Black, and when them folks come for you, you over there by yourself. You better find help wherever you can find it from, because I'm not going to extend my energy, my time, and my resources to help you. Okay, that's where I stand on that. So now with this whole division thing, just know that that's not going to be used as a shaming tactic. And then if you keep saying it without giving any critical thought to what I just mentioned earlier, then you make yourself sound very ignorant, okay? That's an ignorant talking point. And see, you can't have it both ways. You can't say, okay, you're not black, and you can't say that, oh, we're the real Africans and things like that. I've heard that. And I'm not saying that everybody says it. We're talking about the tether class. I want to reiterate that. When you say things like that, and then we finally come to accept it, now it's all, hey, nigga, you are African. You are black. No. Which one is it? You have a case of cultural schizophrenia. Either you're going to accept this or you're not. But see, let me make this clear, and I think I speak for the majority of my chat room when I say this. We are done being concerned about whether that's your mindset to accept us or not. We'll just focus on us, and we'll work with individuals here or there in the black diaspora that are on code and are actually trying to build something. We'll do that. But as far as this waiting and this whole idea of Pan-Africanism being one-sided, no. If we're going to have Pan-Africanism, you're going to put equal measure on the table like we do, okay? We've done the one-sided thing long enough. It's not going to be a freebie anymore, okay? So y'all are going to see a lot of that kind of talk as we get back to this. But I want y'all to pay attention to how Brother Flex deals with this conversation here. Let's get back to it.
Now, here's the thing. Why do you disconnect with us acknowledging our lineage? Because all we're doing is acknowledging our lineage, which is a real lineage. So where do you get disconnect with that?
Because at one point you used to talk about Pan-Africanism, and then now you don't. You're against it.
When have I used the term Pan-African?
I have heard you say that.
When have I said that? What's Pan-African? I really never used that term.
No, you were interviewing Nipsey Hussle, and then you
Yes.
said something about Pan-Africanism.
Let me pause that right there, because the interview that she's talking about it's still up on the Ism Radio channel. Back to business. For those of you that remember the Ism Radio show, the work is still up on that channel. Go listen to that interview and see. This brings me to something that you tethers are gonna have to stop doing, and I got to go here with this. Going to offend some people. If you're a tether class man and you pull what she just pulled, where you just make up something to fit your narrative, amongst other men over here, those like myself that come from the old school of integrity of saying what we mean and meaning what we say, we can't take you serious, and we can't trust you when you start out in bad faith with deception, okay? Because that's not in that interview. They did not discuss Pan-Africanism in that interview. Don't take my word for it. Go look for the interview on the Ism Radio channel and listen to it front to back for yourself. And then you'll see there was not Pan-Africanism discussed. I didn't hear it, okay? I was there when it aired live, okay? I was in the chat room listening. So the other thing is, when it comes to you women, oh boy, I'm gonna get in trouble for this. Y'all gonna throw cyber tomatoes at me. Let me, I gotta just say it like it is. I expect the deception tactic more from the women, okay? Especially from that tether class. I expect that from them. So if a man is doing that, I really can't respect you. But see what she did right here? You're trying to practice deception to fit a narrative. They keep talking about, okay, Tariq, you were into Pan-Africanism and you were talking about, no, he wasn't. You really think about it. None of us have ever really heard Tariq use that term over the years, okay? See, when you go to make up a lie, this is what y'all are not really aware of. Maybe some of you don't understand this brother's been doing a weekly radio show now for years. And we would remember if that was the primary subject of discussion, especially if any of us have met the brother at live events. That's never really been the theme of any of his events. But I think what they're doing, they're conflating the fact that Dr. Umar Johnson was in Hidden Colors. That's where a lot of that is coming from, I'm thinking. And, no disrespect to Umar at all, okay? Because believe it or not, despite my critiques of him, I want to see that brother succeed. I get it, y'all. I know it's been a long time, but I actually do want to see that brother succeed, because if he can get a school going off the ground, even though it's taken a long time to do it, where black children can go to be educated and be safe, I'm all for that, okay? You'll never hear me talk bad about him doing that. I just hope he gets it done. But see, I think they're conflating that because Umar Johnson was in Hidden Colors, and they're saying, okay, you used to be for Pan-Africanism. See, let me tell y'all something, right? We're all for working with those of you that are on code, But see, you're not going to tell us that we're wrong to separate or draw a line of demarcation between those of you that see white people as something to worship. Because see, oil and water don't mix. We going in two different directions if that's how you feel about white folks. And let me be blunt with it. If the first thing you want to do when you get over here is get you a Zaddy, okay, or get you a bottom shelf Brad or a Becky, whatever, Alabastrous, y'all know where I go with it. If that's the first thing you want to do, you already compromised. You already compromised because see, you've been sitting over there in your homelands dreaming about getting over here so you can be up under them folks like that. See, we're about doing for self over here in Black empowerment. The things that you come over here and enjoy, we build those things, okay? We built this entire country from the ground up. There was no America until we built it. And it doesn't matter if we did it in slavery or captivity, the work still got done by the hands of our ancestors. In fact, after the work was done, the maintenance of America was maintained by the contributions of inventions that foundational Black American freedmen contributed to this nation. If you stripped all those inventions away, this country would be in the dark ages without our contributions to it, okay? So that's the other thing why we don't play that disrespect when you come over here. But see, if your mind is set on worshiping our oppressor, then there's nothing we can do with you. What can we do with you if it's time for us to stand on getting these race soldiers punished that harm us, and then you either want to take the side of the race soldier or you want to sit back in the background? See, look, I'm going to tell you what I have more respect for. If you came over here and you said, you know what, listen, man, I'm just trying to, come over here, get stable employment. I'm trying to escape where I came from. It's not really popping over there. It's harsh conditions. But I hope you foundational Black American freedmen get what you want. If there's any way I can support, I'll do that. But I just don't want to get deported. If you said that and just stayed out our way, I wouldn't have no problem with you. I wouldn't. I really wouldn't. I could respect and understand that. But see, now, if you're the type of person where you want to flee from somewhere where you're not going back to fix your issues, all you got to do is see my last broadcast for examples of that. If that fits your description, you don't need to be talking to us about how to quarterback a damn thing. You are not capable of it. You do not have the skill set. You don't have the right. You don't even understand the battlefield that you plan on to open your mouth to tell us what to do or what not to do. Okay. See, we got to take the kid gloves off when we're discussing this. It's our lineage, our rules. Okay. So we're going to get back to our brother Tariq breaking that down. But I just wanted to tackle that. I think that's where a lot of that, Tariq Nasheed was once on Pan-Africanism. They conflating that because Umar Johnson was in Hidden Colors. And see, before I get back to that, again, no disrespect to Umar, but he's on a different ideology than us. Okay. We all know his Cuban heritage. All right. And, he probably would not be eligible for reparations. But this whole, where Umar comes from it at, oh, we shouldn't be asking a white man for this, that, the third. I'm like, no, we finna stop that foolishness right there because we are tax-paying American citizens. And you've even got non-citizens getting access to our tax dollars over here without a study. Okay, they don't need a commission or any of that. So we going to get out of this mentality where as Black people, foundational Black American freedmen, we not supposed to rely on our government to do right by us. No, we not doing that no more. See, this whole mentality of put everybody above us, that's a holdover from slavery, okay? So you need to understand that type of conditioning, that's exactly what was going on in that AME church where they sit there and let some Palestinian and white protesters come in there and say, to hell with your issues, Negroes. We're going to talk about what's best for us in your church. And none of you Negroes said anything. Do you man? See, I keep telling y'all, man, this is why you don't see most straight Black men in these Black churches. Because I'm going to say something that's really going to piss a lot of people off. And I can understand if you unsubscribe and never come back. If some shit hit the fan, most of y'all that's in that Black church is useless, man. It's not just because I'm saying that you wouldn't be good at any type of physical confrontation. Your mind is already broken. You believe in just sitting there letting somebody tickle your ears. And don't get me wrong, I'm a man of faith. But see, I apply faith in the right way. Faith without works is dead, okay? After you pray, you get up and do. Some of you have become accustomed to just sitting around and having, religious recitations or whatever. And then next thing you just sit there and that's it. You just go around in circles and then you steady giving your money to an entity that does nothing for your empowerment or protection. That era is over. You can be in a situation where you're not in a church or any type of religious structure and have a personal relationship with God, okay? You can. You don't have to be sitting in anybody's church to do that. All right. So we just had to get those things clear. We're going to get a lot more straight before it's over tonight. Let's get back to it.
I don't remember saying anything about Pan-African, but I acknowledge Black people globally. What's Pan-Africanism? What is it?
Pan-Africanism is strengthening African people all over the world.
Right. Okay. I've always been about uplifting Black people globally. I just don't use the term Pan-Africanism because usually that has a connotation of we have to all move to Africa somewhere. And I've never been on that. I've wanted dual citizenship where we can just go back and forth and do trade. But I've always been about lifting Black people up globally. I just left Fiji. There's a bunch of Black people over there. Lovely people. Love connecting with them. Want to go back with them. So is that Pan-Africanism? I just like being around Black people globally. You understand? Even in Africa. When I go to Africa, I show love. I like to connect with brothers and sisters in Africa. Much love to them. So the term Pan-Africanism, I don't know, but the definition is all the way out there. And I'm still about uplifting Black people globally. If I see a Black person anywhere in the world, I'm going to make sure that Black person is cool. I haven't changed on that. I'm still a foundational Black American, right?
Well, I understand and I do support that. And I want foundational Black Americans to be strong. But at the same time, I think the connection between Africans and foundational Black Americans will give power.
Here's the problem. And this is the problem. I want to make sure everybody Black globally is going to be good and we can all be on the same page. But what I'm not going to do is have it be one-sided. And that's been the problem. We've been the ones doing the heavy lifting. Nobody in Africa is really doing no heavy lifting for us. Nobody really is trying to lift up the global fence for us. Nobody's over there trying to advocate for dual citizenship, no land allotment so we can come over and build. Nothing. So it's been.
Now, let me pause it right there and add to what my good brother Tariq Nasheed was saying here, because see, if we're going to focus on Pan-Africanism, okay, the core tenet of that should be centered around building on an international level. So we need to be talking about getting trade going. We need to be talking about, okay, let's get some land centered away to get some businesses set up where we can do business back and forth. Because see, they keep coming over here just saying Pan-Africanism, you divisive, this, that, the third. Okay, see, what I like to do when someone keeps harping on something, I'm like, okay, you know what? Yeah, let's talk about it. Let's see if you're serious about it. Tell me, family, and I want y'all to correct me in the chat if you've ever witnessed this, because we're open to the truth over here. Anytime you've been in Brother Tariq Nasheed spaces or any of these spaces, anybody's space, when the tethers come over, you either see two things. They come over trying to spew white supremacist rhetoric, which goes to show you that their minds are more loyal to their oppressors than trying to build anything with us. Or you see them trying to shame us, talking about Pan-Africanism, Pan-Africanism, Pan-Africanism. Okay, well, tell me this. When's the last time you seen one of them hop over into any of our spaces where we are and say, hey, brother or sister, whoever's hosting it, I have an idea where we could do some business together, where we could employ our people over there on the continent and over where you are in America. Which of them come to the table with that? See, where I go with it, when you start telling us how much smarter you are than us and how much you work hard, I'm like, okay, cool, let's prove it then. See, if that was the case, you would be coming to the table when serious things are discussed and be talking business. You will be talking about, okay, how can we get these connections going between us where it benefits both sides, not just one? Okay? See, I want y'all to tell me when the last time y'all heard them talking like that, especially the men. You know I'm going there on the men. If you a man, you should always be coming in the presence of other men talking business, okay? Talking empowerment. And see, I'm going to tell you why a lot of them don't do that. They're going to get mad about this, but who cares, man? We got to tell the truth. A lot of them don't do that because where they're from, they look at other black people as failures because they don't understand that the puppet leaders that screwing things up are controlled by Western white hands. Those puppets are controlled by Western white hands. So when they're sitting there pocketing all that foreign aid, and speaking of foreign aid, y'all know what I'm about to do. I want my people over here to be able to verify everything that comes out of my mouth. Y'all know what website we're about to drop in the chat, right? Because I'm going to make sure that all of you are familiar with this site. We gonna drop foreignassistance.gov in here 3 times. Nah, we ain't gonna do the Umar sniff this time. We gonna leave him alone. I want y'all to bookmark that site and go on there and look at your tax dollars. That's our tax dollars in real time going to all these different nations. I want you to particularly look at what's being sent to the continent, okay? That money is going to control a lot of those puppet leaders. And what they do, they pocket that money for their particular tribe or clan, and they don't use any of it to do anything for the people. This is why they're always talking about the government over there, okay? So when you start looking at hard numbers and when you start looking at what that money is being used for, okay, some of them should say, all right, we see what's going on with our puppet leaders. Maybe there's a way we can get around that by doing international business with one another. You don't hear them talking that way. If they do come to the table, unfortunately, a lot of them are trying to see how they can pull off a scam because they don't think you can do business with other black people without either scamming or, worse yet, they think that in order for something to be successful, it has to have a white person in charge of it or involved in it some kind of way. You just don't understand what doing for self is, okay? So the only choice you're going to have coming to where we are, you're going to have to learn from us, okay? You can't come over and call any shots. Look, if you were capable of calling shots, then you wouldn't have to run from where you're from in the first place. I'm not being cruel. We got to talk this truth over here tonight, okay? So that's where we are with it all 2024. If you're not with that program, then, hey, we just not going in the same direction, and that's okay. That's okay. You got a destination you're trying to get to. You need to go over there, and we'll get to our destination over here. That's all right. We don't have to head in the same direction. Everybody's not moving at the same pace. Everybody doesn't have the same goals in mind. That's okay. Just stay on your lane and we'll stay in ours. Let's continue.
That's not true, Tariq. I think I believe Ghana had invited African Americans or foundational black
No,
come.
Ghana, no. People with that Ghana stuff. Ghana has something called the right to abode and the year of return, which is basically a tourist trap where we can go over there and drop off some tourism money, go over there and visit the slave dungeons. They're not really giving us easy access to dual citizenship. And when black people do patriate over there, it's horror stories where there's real estate scams. There's a bunch of finessing going on with foundational black Americans going over there. Ghana is not opening those floodgates like they're making it seem. It ain't like that at all. So let's stop with that Ghana thing. But
Okay,
again,
well,
go ahead.
okay. Have you been in Ethiopia?
I have been to Ethiopia. For a quick minute, I have been to Ethiopia. Cool
And
people.
what's wrong with that? Do you think foundational black Americans can go to Ethiopia and open up a business or do some
Hey,
sort
brother
of,
Tariq, how you doing?
I don't know, like interaction?
I'm gonna get you in a minute, Sir Major. But yeah, in Ethiopia, they're not really opening the door for us to go in with a fast track of dual citizenship or own. We got to go to, if we go to Ethiopia or any other of those African nations as foundational black Americans, we got to go holding a bag. We got to go bring a whole ton of money over there. We have to have bank accounts. We got to show them. It's a whole thing. They want to make sure we're papered up if we go over there. Whereas people can come over here with $3 and flies in their pocket and bam, they dump them off in the black community, and here we are with them, and then they hate us. They come over here talking about we're Jareers and Abids and all of this weird shit.
Who? See, I think you're stereotyping, though. You're generalizing and stereotyping everyone.
Now, let me pause it right here because, see, this goes back to what I said in the earlier portion of the broadcast tonight. If you really plan to approach us in good faith, for those of you that are, continental Africans, don't come over trying to act like you don't understand or you never seen that some of those people in different nations, both in Western Africa, Eastern Africa, call us Akatas, Jerryers, RBs, etc., etc. Now, is it all of them? Of course not. Nobody would be ignorant enough to say that, but it's enough for it to be a problem, okay? So trying to act like you don't understand where that comes from, or you didn't have anybody in your family saying these negative things about us. Because see, to be honest with y'all, let me tell you something. I started to put some information in here tonight that I was like, you know what? Don't do that. Don't do that, because y'all know I'm hellified with that research. Y'all know I don't play any games when it comes down to breaking down that information. I'll tell you about it though. I started to put some information in here showing some of these so-called, some of the severe problems over in Ethiopia. Again, nice people, some of them, okay. But when they start talking about that baby mama situation, all of that, I'm like, yeah, even though their culture frowns on that, let me tell you something. If I was to put the information in here that I was going to do tonight, I said, after that last broadcast, I said, you know what, don't do it to them. All I'm going to tell you is just go searching for some information on certain numbers of things. And when you see that, you be like, hey, don't you open your mouth to talk about this. Because see, to the good brother or sister, let me see, B1 Bonafide. I'm not sure if you're a brother or sister, so don't take offense to that. I saw your comment where you said you almost, lost your freedom behind some of them calling you a kata and no good. Let me tell you why you don't ever lose your freedom behind that or be insulted by it. I'm going to give you something you probably never thought about. First of all, let's break down what the term Akata means. Akata means wildcat away from home. That's what that means, okay? So now let me tell you why you don't, I mean, I'm not telling you to be okay with it. Let me tell you why you shouldn't let that upset you. See, which is worse? The wildcat that's away from home or the people that were involved in making sure the wildcat was not at home? See, you got to go there with that, because all of us did not come from the continent. There were black people already over here, but there's a portion of our lineage that did come. A small percentage came to North America. The greater majority went to South America, okay, and the Caribbean. So now, if you're going to call me a wildcat away from home, then who's more shameful? The person that betrayed their own and sold them over here for lightless to nothing trinkets, or the wildcat who didn't have a hand in that? See, you have to start looking at things from the actual standpoint of like, okay, what is that to boast about? Because see, if you really want to get gangster with it, you could say that, well, seems like the wildcats away from home are some of the best and brightest, because hell, look at our culture. See, yeah, you got to pop your collar when you're a foundational Black American freedman. No disrespect to other cultures, but you look at what we've accomplished here. Huh? Yeah, we got to go here, man. Yeah, the Horace Kings, the Benjamin Banekers. I mean, look, I could go on and on. The Ida B. Wells, man, don't get me started. Our lineage is spectacular. Do you understand me? You think about a people that was once illiterate in slavery, taught ourselves to read. That's where the Tut language came from. And that was instrumental in cutting our illiteracy rate in half coming out of slavery and going into Reconstruction. Then some of us started becoming, involved in the politics and everything. And none of this came easy. See, we're a people that we have a right to brag if we decide to be honest with you. And it wouldn't be something that we couldn't substantiate. So don't any of you in my chat room ever let them talk about kata. I'm like, oh yeah, really? Let's do some comparison by history. You know what I'm saying? Because see, look, it would be so unfair if we started doing that. See, that's why I teach y'all to hit back with the truth, okay? So don't ever let them try to pull that one on you. I mean, I laugh in their faces at it, because see, if you really wanted to do them, if you just wanted to play tit for tat, there's a K word that you could call them, boy, and they'll go to pieces. Like, see, they be talking about a kata this, a kata that, but they don't. I'll tell you what, I'll make you do your homework on this. I ain't gonna say it on the stream. Go look up what Mahatma Mohandas K. Gandhi, okay? Yeah, the little scrawny, starving Gandhi, little racist ass. Go look up what Gandhi called them. It starts with a K. You call one of them that, oh boy, they will be damn near in tears. Oh boy, they'll be so angry. See, they can dish it out, but they can't take it. I'm just saying, if you want to go that route with them, I ain't gonna say it on the stream. Just go look that up. But anyways, we're gonna get back to what Brother Tariq is discussing here, because see, like I said, maybe she didn't mean well, but this is what I want to say to those of you sisters that are continental Africans, that you actually do mean well in good faith, because I'm gonna say maybe she did. What you need to start doing instead of coming over here talking about we're being divisive, you need to have a conversation with your men and say, hey, listen, why don't we try to build with our foundational Black American freedmen brothers and sisters? You see, we got issues and problems over here where, you know, our economics aren't straight. Maybe if we pool our best and brightest together, we can get something going. That's the conversation you need to have with your men. You really, be honest with you, I know this is going to sound chauvinist and somewhat outdated, but you need to have your men coming over here to have a conversation with our men, okay? And if you want to have a conversation with the sisters about what y'all can build, hey, you need to do that because, see, I've got an idea. I'll put this out here in the ether because it's something I want to see happen, and I don't mind speaking in general. If you really want to have a conversation in good faith as a continental African woman with a foundational Black American freedman woman, how about you start discussing how you can come together and take over this hair care industry and take that out the hands of these damn Asians? $1 billion a year business? See, if you want Pan-Africanism to start and really get something done, let's start with the economics, huh? Because don't nothing move without the money, okay? Let's start there. So you need to be talking to our sisters like, hey, if y'all got the hook up on some hair over there or something like that, start talking to our sisters about how you can do business, okay? It's time out for that, hey, come over here and do this for us and we don't get nothing in return. No, it's got to be quid pro quo, okay? A solid, strong alliance is one that has equal trade going in both directions, not just one-sided. Let's let it continue.
Because no, wait a second, please. I personally, I just told you I support your work, right? I just told you in my family, everyone has a poster of Malcolm X and Dr. Martin Luther. In my family, though, you see, but you're generalizing, saying that we hate you, and I think
I'm
creating
not saying
that.
you all do, but I'm saying generally there's a lot of contempt with a lot of people from your culture when they get here. And they set up their little enclaves and communities outside of us. And there's a narrative of stay away from the Jabids, the Abids, and the Jarirs. And that's the
What does that
reality.
mean? What does that mean?
Ma'am, there's a reason why the Ethiopians come over here and set up their own little enclaves in their communities where they don't share their resources with us. Now, they get resources from us. We'll patronize their businesses and the whole 9 yards. But they make sure that money doesn't trickle back into Black society, foundational Black American society. They set up their own churches, their own schools, so that money can funnel over to them. But any type of Black program that we done fought for, they'll be first in line with that. You understand?
Yeah, I understand what you're saying, and if that's the case, that is really wrong. But my question for you is, have you?
Now, I'm going to tell you, I had a problem with that when I heard her say that if that's the case. No, there's no if that's the case. The brother's telling you what happened. See, I got to go here with this. Maybe a lot of them don't realize it because I think she means well, but that's condescending. You talking to the brother as if he doesn't know what he's talking about. If that's the case, there's no question about what he said. We can prove this. Many of you in my chat room have seen how that tether class show they behind when they come around us. Okay, there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. So look, we gonna see. I've said this many times. The only way that you're going to really be able to connect with people in good faith, there must be respect on both ends. So y'all going to have to start looking at how you trying to engage. If we're telling you about something and we can prove it, and you've seen it too, because this sister, she's not stupid. She's seen that. Don't be talking about no if as if we just making something up. See, again, that's projection. A lot of y'all in the tether class do that. A lot of y'all make shit up. If we tell you something, we talking about facts, hard numbers. We can point to it. Here's examples of what we're talking about. So we don't need to hear nobody talking about no if. That just kind of irked me and rubbed me the wrong way. But hey, let's get back to it.
Done any educational, I don't know, like going to their even to church or business place
For
and
what?
give some kind of educational. I think
For
that
what?
would maybe some people may not even know anything any better. So if you do educate and then they still do something like that, then I understand to kind of cast
Why we
them
got to
off.
do that? Why we got to do that though? What? How does that benefit me at all?
Let me pause it again. See, let's deal with this because unfortunately, we got to make a comparison. she's talking about, okay, the tether class that's disrespectful, we need to educate them. Now, family, doesn't that sound similar to when white supremacists say, oh, well, they're only racist white people because they're ignorant? No, at this stage of the game, listen, you willfully ignorant if that's the case. But I'm going to tell you like this. See, y'all need to understand where we are in the hour of our history again. Now, I'm going to mention this. We're at a critical hour in our history where we're like, okay, this other stuff that didn't work, we don't have time to be going around in circles trying to drag anybody kicking and screaming where they don't want to be. If you're not for Black empowerment where you are, we know you're not going to be for it where we are. So at best, what you need to do is don't tell us we need to educate you. You're not a child. Because, see, one thing that you do understand is basic right from wrong. So now if any of us goes to another country and the native people there, we start disrespecting them, we know that's wrong off the bat. Nobody needs to educate you on not doing that. So now if you saying that you don't understand that, then I'm going to posit to you this. It's going to sound cruel. I told you this broadcast is going to make some people mad. If we got to educate you not to conduct yourself in an uncivilized manner, then you basically useless to us. That puts you on the level of an ignorant child, and we don't have time to deal with childish people, okay? We got business to take care of. That childish stuff about, well, maybe if you educate, no. You grown, you know better. You don't need no education. You know basic right from wrong, okay? And see, we don't have time for that. See, unlike you all, and this is a literal thing, no disrespect, I'm just speaking the truth. Over on the continent, a lot of y'all just do things at a slower pace. If you've never been to an African nation, that's how it is. That's where you had the joke, African time or whatever, you know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, you don't believe in punctuality. And I'm talking about just in general life. Unfortunately, you apply that to greater things when it comes to changing the course of history. We don't have time to waste playing games with people that should know better, huh? Because, see, to be honest with you, I would be a little bit more lenient with this woman here because, y'all know I'm old school with it. But if it was a man talking like this, the first thing I would tell him, I'm like, okay, now you're bullshitting because you're afraid. You're afraid of challenging white supremacy and actually being in a state of empowerment. And don't get me wrong, we have people from our lineage that applies to as well, okay? Some people are actually afraid to have power. Oh, if you do that, then white folks gonna be mad. They already mad. What the hell they doing to us that they hadn't been doing already, huh? Nah, I don't give a damn how mad they are. We gonna make these people do right by us with these reparations, this anti-Black hate crime bill, and we in it for the long haul. Cause see, I kept hearing, back when we first started declaring ourselves foundational Black American freedmen, which is a power move when you identify your own people without having somebody label you. I remember this whole line here. How many of y'all remember this? What's the end game? Remember that goofy lineage, that goofy line? What's the end game? There's no end game to acknowledging our lineage. Do you hear how you sound? There's no end game to empowerment. See, how many times do you go over and ask white people what's their end game? How many times do you go over and ask East Indians, Arab, and a lot of these people, the Asians that are classified as white, white Hispanics? How many times do you go over there and ask them what's their end game? Don't bring that goofy shit over here to us either. There is no end game to empowerment. Now, if there's an end game for you, fine. Like I said earlier, we're not on the same path. You go over there and do what you do and just keep going around in circles for the next 150 years if that's what you want to do. We're not on that. The future we're trying to create is going to be free of as much white supremacy as possible. We're trying to dismantle that, literally, okay? If you don't have the balls or the stones for that, hey, look, okay, fine, we can respect it. Just don't get in our way when we got work to do. Let's let it continue.
Because there's powers in numbers.
Not if the numbers are not trying to build anything as a Black coalition.
Gotta pause it yet again. See, I'm listening to her talk, and look, I gotta go here again with it. Like I said, tell class men are not gonna like this broadcast. When you have your women just repeating catchphrases, powers in numbers, okay. See, that goes to show me that the men around you are weak and they're just used to talking. No, ma'am, there's not powers in numbers if everybody's not on code and has the same agenda. See, let me tell you something. I've said it before. if you have a small group of organized people that everybody is about getting something accomplished, they understand what the mission and the goal is, you can defeat armies far larger than you. History has shown us this many times. Why do you think that Hannibal, okay, is hailed as one of the greatest military tacticians to ever live? A black man, by the way, because Hannibal was famous for winning battles in times where he didn't have a large force to match them. He out-organized them and out-strategized them. So I posit to you this, ma'am, if you happen to hear this, what good is a bunch of people that's afraid to challenge white supremacy because you want to be ingratiated with them and idolize them? And what good is a bunch of people that when it's time to actually stand up for something and put in some work, the first thing on your mind is, hardship, and you jump up in the air and do like the Flintstones where you're hovering in the air and you take off running? We can't do nothing with that. I'm sorry, we can't do nothing with that. So no, there's not always strength in numbers. It depends on the mindset of the numbers, okay? I just had to go there with it. Let's let this continue.
If you look at yourself as your own ethnic group, which is fine, and the general consensus is we got to stay away from those foundational Black Americans. And ma'am, let's be real. Here on these Twitter spaces, we've had a lot of Ethiopians and Somalis call up, and these people are very vicious and nasty towards us, ma'am. So we do have some cool ones, but ma'am, these Twitter spaces, they let us know how a lot of these people really feel about us. And it's a horrible disposition that they have towards us. So we don't really benefit from them coming over. We've already done a lot for Ethiopia as foundational Black Americans during the 1930s when Italy was about to colonize Ethiopia. It was foundational Black Americans lining up trying to go over there to help them fight. We've done a lot of things to help them maintain their independence, and too many people from there have vitriol towards us, and that's very unacceptable.
Yeah, and I agree with that one, and I don't know that, I guess, because I come
Right.
from a family that uphold foundational Black Americans. But I think the solution for me is to educate my people more and my community. That's what I would take from here. But I hope you do the same.
Mm-hmm. All right, man. But thank you in here, Roxanne.
Okay.
Now, let me deal with the last statement that the sister from Ethiopia made. And ladies, I want you to understand what I'm about to say, okay? I want particularly continental African women who may be, have good intentions to understand what I'm about to say. The term educate. What happens is you develop a state of analysis paralysis. Okay, see, after a point, after you get an education, I think everybody in here will be able to agree on this. After you get the education, now it's time to put it into practical application. What good is learning about something or gaining a particular skill or some knowledge if you don't plan to use it? And this is going to be the brick wall that she encounters. And, if she does mean well, I see her being very demoralized when she starts trying to go, as she says, educate her people, depending on what she's talking about. If she starts saying, okay, look, they're not on that, then now you got a decision to make. Either you're going to get with like-minded people that are on code that actually are trying to build things, or you can just stay there going in circles, trying to drag somebody kicking and screaming to somewhere they don't want to go. Time is critical. That is not a luxury that we have to waste. We just don't. Okay. So that's where we are with that. Y'all gonna have to understand, man, if you're trying to actually, form connections with us, everything needs to be about reciprocal business transaction. Okay. Not gonna be no free gimmies. Ain't no be no free 99. And see, I got to point this out for those of you, even if you're in here listening, that you're like, well, what's wrong with Pan-Africanism? Nothing is wrong with the concept on its face. The problem, as we've said again, is one-sided. And see, I'm not going to tell anybody not to travel or go visit an African nation. In fact, I encourage it. I got to point out a reality, though. Going to visit somewhere and, enjoying the company of the people, enjoying the scenery and everything, enjoying the food, that's one thing. That's great. I want all my people to do that. Travel is the best education you can get. It's another when you live there and then you start to see, okay, well, if I do try to open up a business or I try to get something going and you surrounded by people that have nowhere near your type of ideology or mindset when it comes to doing certain things and being on code, That's gonna be a challenge for you. We got to talk real about a lot of these people because see, unfortunately, we have a lot of people over here that's talking Pan-Africanism. They've never even been to an African nation, never once. Don't know what it's like to go and spend 6 months to a year over there in any African nation and just see, okay, what is it like? And I encourage anybody that wants to do it to go try it, so at least you can see firsthand. Okay, before you make a permanent move, is this something you think you're gonna be able to deal with? Because see, I gotta go here. For all of you that are on the Pan-African tip, understand that if you was to go to an African nation, you're gonna be under their rules and authority. It's gonna be reverse of what they deal with over here. See, when they come over here, they under the rules and authority of the United States government. You go over there to their nation, you're gonna be under their rules and authority. So whatever they got going on, okay, if it's if it's anything that's counterproductive or detrimental to the people, you're going to have to get used to ducking your head and dealing with it. Because one, you're a foreigner. Okay. Oh, yes. Look, you will look like them, but they're going to let you know pretty quick if you get out of line and start speaking out of turn, particularly on politics. Oh, you better not do that in an African nation. Oh, no. Don't you do it. They politics are cutthroat. Okay. If you're not, a citizen over there, or you ain't got no kind of pull, keep your mouth shut on their politics when you're over in their nation. Leave that alone. I'm telling you, all you got to do is just watch during election time how a lot of that gets. Okay, so like I said, I just want people to think intelligently about whatever decision you choose to make, because you're going to make the best decision for you. Nobody's discouraging you from doing what you think is best for you. I'm just saying, think about the reality of visiting a place versus actually living there, okay? That's a big difference. So you need to plan strategically for whatever it is you plan to do, okay? So now this next call we got to analyze here. This is the one where I'm really going to go in on this. Family, I want y'all to listen to this tone. And, before I give my commentary, I'm going to let it go on for a little bit. But it's going to, this right here, this is something we can't do in 2024. I'm going to let this play. And I want y'all to really take notes on what's about to be said.
Hey, hello, everybody. Hello, panel. Hello, brother Tariq.
Hello there.
The subject is what's wrong with a foundational Black Americans. Okay, there is no foundation. It never was a foundation. The foundation has always been stolen, taken, raped, killed, annihilated. Every time the Black folks try to build any type of foundation, it has been torn down. Okay, so staying on the subject, I'm not gonna speak on all the other speakers before because I'm just gonna say what I want to say. Who brings drugs into America? Who see? And then it's so much going on in the world right now with the music, the corporations, the evil entities. They have always the witchcraftery and all the shit that's going on in the world today across the world. Okay? And without getting all over the place, I want to stay on the subject. There has never been a foundation for Black people, because every time we build a foundation of hope, of the future for our children, not just our kids, Black people, we think about everybody. The problem is we putting people before us. We keep putting, people in the same category. No, Black is Black, white is white, whatever culture you from or whatever country you from, that's what you represent.
Now
Your
let's slow it
city.
down. All right, let's slow.
Okay, so I let that play for a minute. Family, can I keep it all the way 100 with what I'm about to say? Cause y'all know I'm finna go in when I sound like this, right? Can I keep it all the way 100 with what I'm about to say? Cause this is gonna burn some ears, but it's gonna be a lesson taught. This is gonna burn some ears right here. Can I go ahead and keep it all the way 100, family? Let me know, because see, I'm gonna tell you right now. what I'm about to break down, if you thought the tether class was mad before, they really gonna be pissed off now. Yeah, let me go ahead and get straight to brass tacks on this. Ladies that's gathered in here in this chat room, first of all, this woman is Caribbean. It was come to find out that she's a Caribbean woman. But I've said this many times. I'm gonna reiterate it here tonight. I'm gonna put some extra. Truth sauce on this. Okay. You know the number one way that people can tell when you don't have a man that's worth a damn in your life. Oh yes, I'm going here with it. Yes, I am, because I got to do it. The number one way you can tell when a woman doesn't have a man in her life, she sounds like this. First, she said, she wasn't going to be all over the place, but you heard her talk, which is why I let that play. You were all over the place. See, a woman that doesn't have a productive, stable man that's about handling business in her life, she sounds like this because you're afraid. Okay, I hear a lot of fear. You're disorganized. Okay, and then you're talking about things in a defeatist attitude. See, ladies that have men in here, those of you that are married or whatever your situation may be, tell me right now, when you go away from your dude, do you sound like this? See, because one of the things about manhood, and see, this is why this is a stain on the men from that culture that are in the tether class. You're supposed to teach your woman things. See, your woman is supposed to not just be attracted to you physically. She's supposed to be attracted to your mind, your life experience. She's supposed to say, hey, you know what? Before this guy came along, my life was hard, man, but I appreciate the things I've learned from my man. I appreciate the confidence and courage that he's given me. See, if you're not doing that for a woman, brother, you failing, man. This is why I direct that when I hear that women talking with this defeatist attitude. I'm like, okay, damn it. This is a problem amongst the men. And see, it shows because I know I'm right about this. Women that don't have men, or if she does have a man, he ain't worth two dead flies put together. No, you're not. But let me tell you something, dude. I'm not married. And the women that I deal with, listen, boy, if I was to tell them to mention who they are, they'll tell you like, oh, no, if you're talking to this brother, he going to make sure that you understand how to conduct yourself and you ain't going to be running around with no insecurity and confusion. That's one thing that's not going to happen if you're a woman that's in my company, okay? That right there, you should be ashamed if your woman is running around and she dealing with you, especially if it's your wife. Oh my God, that say a lot about you as a man. See, we are reflections of each other in these relationships, okay? In relationships and marriages, you're a reflection of the other person. A woman is supposed to get some of her confidence from her man, okay? So when you come over here with this defeatist attitude, talking about we don't have a foundation, man, we are the living foundation. Just because something is knocked down by our presence, we don't leave it down. We rebuild. History has shown this. Now, if you come from a culture where your men don't do that, that's not our problem. Okay, look, salute to my own cold Caribbean brothers. This ain't no shots at those of you that are builders, because I understand full well that there are many of you that stay 10 toes down and fight. We're talking about that tether class. I want to be specific. This is a stain on the honor of manhood from your lineage. When your women go out and talk this way, see, let me tell you something. In case some of you think, oh, he talking that old Gen X talk, he just saying this just to be saying it. Nah, let me tell you something. That's a weakness when other men hear your women talking like that, because you know what they do? In terms of warfare, they make an assessment. They say, oh, this is how their women are talking. That means their men must be a bunch of punks. Do you understand me? If they hear a large majority of your women and children talking with such fear and such dejected mentality, they look at you as, okay, yeah, they right for the pickings. Them dudes ain't about nothing. Let's go on over and set foot down. If you think I'm wrong about that, if you think I'm wrong about that, look on the continent now. What them Chinese men doing over there? Oh, they scooping up every African woman that they can find, man. Oh, did I say it? Yes, I did. Yes, I did. I had to say it because it's the truth. Understand that when the men of another nation see your women displaying this mindset right here, they look at you as weak and they go back and gather the truth and say, hey, man, whatever they got, we're going to take it. We're going to take it. They don't know what to do with it. What they going to do to stop us? So see, for the women in here listening of our lineage, understand that how you conduct yourself in public amongst others, that's a representation on your man. You better believe that. For those of you that knew your grandfathers and things, you think back to those old men. Those were not weak men, okay? They didn't run around projecting fear in anything. If anything, they set the tone for the courage in the family. You understand? And see, you can tell that she didn't have that because, look, let's just say, let's go here before I let this continue because Brother Tariq about to handle this. Let's just say she don't have a husband or a dude that's in her life that's worth a damn. Well, you know the other thing that tells me? That tells me that you didn't have a father in your life worth a damn either. Because if you did, and he was in your life to raise you, not just come around, you wouldn't be talking like that. You wouldn't be talking like that. Most foundational Black American freedmen women, they don't talk like that. If they had access to a grandfather or a father or brothers, older cousins, they don't sound like this. And see, this is why when you tell the class women start to try to come at foundational Black American women, I'm just going to tell you right now, regardless of all the problems that we do have with a contingent of our women, not all, our women got backbones, man. Sometimes, bless y'all heart, y'all don't know when to turn them little mouths off. Bless your hearts, because that's useful if you can channel that in the right direction. But for the most part, our women are not cowards, man. Yeah, so you know that I had to go there and lay the law down on that. But we're going to get back to what Brother Tariq says. I want y'all to take notes on what he's about to tell her.
Down for a minute. Now, if we ain't the foundation, what is?
There is no foundation for Black Americans.
Okay, well, what's
because every time
hold on, dear. Hold on.
They burn it down. Every
Right.
time it's been burnt down. Every
Right.
time Black people did build a foundation, every time history has shown that they burn it down. So
and then
that's
what do
why
we do?
it's a lot of
And what do we do?
we separated.
We
We
separate.
separated. We said forget it. We stopped fighting. We stopped fighting for a foundation.
When
That's
did we
why
stop
there is
fighting?
no support.
When did we stop fighting? You lost me, sister. When did we stop fighting for a foundation? When did we stop?
We could go back in history. The Black Panther Party, they annihilated that. They broke down, infiltrated a lot of Black organizations and tore it down.
And more Black organizations rebuild after the Black Panthers, ma'am.
They rebuild, but where's the foundation? That's what I'm saying. You saying what's wrong with
you're the foundation, ma'am. The foundation is you.
and I'm building my foundation for everybody. This is what I'm saying. Nobody.
Hold on, sister, because what foundation does America have? What is the foundation of America? Who is the foundation of America?
There is no foundation.
You have to have a foundation
It's
in
been
order to build
broken.
something.
The foundation is broken.
How so, ma'am?
Now, let me pause this to point out something else that I want the sisters in here to pay close attention to, because I know that this doesn't speak to most of our women over here in our lineage, but let me point out to you why this is very critical. See, over the years, if you've been subscribed to this channel, you know I try to teach you how these white supremacists think. Now, let me tell you something. It's going to sound cruel, but I want you to pay attention to the words that are about to come out of my mouth. If I was a white supremacist man and I could get most of the women sounding like this, do you know how happy that would make me? Now, why am I saying that? I have a very bright audience over here. Tell me. I want to see if y'all can tell me before I speak this. I'm going to give you a couple seconds. Why would this make me happy if I could get a large number of the women to sound the way this woman is sounding? Why would I be happy about that? I want to see if y'all can get this, because see, I'm about to teach you something very important. And see, this is why I don't do that stupid gender warring, because what I'm about to tell you is going to prove why women are a critical portion of our society, okay? All of us over here know that. But I want y'all to tell me, why would this make me happy if I was a white supremacist, listen to a large number of women talk like that? A few seconds, let me see if anybody put it in there. I see Heat St. Cloud says, sound broken, it's got a loser mentality. Chief X Ali says she does not understand the foundation from a Genesis perspective. Okay, Amir L says there are many Black Americans with a 276 mindset. One group doesn't show all the freedom fighters or warriors. Yeah, okay. D. Foster says a time waster. There it is. I was looking for it. Lynn M. Yes, because women are the first teachers of the children. Let me expound upon that. And I'm glad Lynn M got that. I'm surprised a lot of y'all didn't get it quicker, but that's okay. We gonna learn together over here tonight. From a warfare perspective, if I'm a white supremacist and I'm conducting psychological warfare, you better think back to that Willie Lynch letter that they keep telling us, oh, it's fake, it's fake. Whether it's real or fake, you better look at the tactics applied in that letter, okay, when it comes to the women in particular. If the women are the first teachers of the children, they are influential over generations. So either they can pass down intelligence and courage, or they can pass down ignorance and cowardice. And if that woman sounds like this, she can break the minds of generations. Do you understand? Before the warrior class can even get formed, because understand, in our proper roles, the men are the protectors and providers. The women are the teachers, the nurturers. You understand? If I can get a large portion of the women to be afraid and, there is no foundation. What type of inspiration are you going to provide for your children? See, for those of us that are foundational Black American freedmen men, let me tell you something. And I wish I had our mind here still. All of mine have transitioned. But when you think back to your great grandmother, your grandmothers, the reason why you revere grandma so much, grandma was strong, man. Grandma had backbone, intelligence, courage. She could teach you things that would be beneficial for you. Look, let me tell you something. My grandmothers, on my father's side and my mother's side, there are things that they taught me that I use to this day. I'm talking about from how to maintain my health, things about the world. Shoot, some of them were even instrumental in making sure that I learned another language at an early age. You understand? So when you think about the importance of the women, if they can break you, you're going to break generations. Why do you think I go so hard in the paint on the sexy red Sukihana culture? And I'm going to have to, I got to touch on some things I saw. For those of you asking, yes, I saw that despicable video where they had them little babies on that damn pole. Me and my cousin was talking about that earlier, and he'll tell you, boy, that right there, it's hard for things to shake my spirit. When I saw that pissed me off in ways that y'all don't understand, but I'm gonna have to take the time to speak on that. I'm gonna put that broadcast together. I'm gonna have to do that. But see, I bring that up because it goes into what I just said. If you can get a generation of women to teach little girls that, okay, your value, even before we develop your mind, your value is in being sexualized and doing these things that you ain't got no business doing as a child. What have you done to the next generation, huh? See, this is why I go so hard on them damn hood rats and the turbo thoughts, man. But I'm gonna put iron to fire on that. I'm gonna put iron to fire on that in the future broadcast. That's the importance of not sounding like this woman. And this is why we keep telling y'all, I get it. I get it. I get it. A lot of you want to do your own thing, but if you can, it will behoove you to find yourself a good, strong, competent, productive man so that you will be under covering and you will not be vulnerable and weak sounding like this. Because see, before I let this play again, I want to put this on your minds and hearts in case there's some young women listening to me with the or some older women, Okay, cool. You might say, you might not agree with what I'm talking about. You might not need no man. Think back to the start of that pandemic. Was you saying that then? Be honest with yourself. You don't have to tell me. The women that had men during the start of the pandemic, I guarantee you they wasn't talking about what men they didn't need. Oh, you found out real quick that you damn sure do need men. We need each other, okay? Each of us needs each other in our natural roles, okay, for there to be order. Because anything outside of that is chaos. And I posit to you, everything that's coming out this woman's mouth, it's the opposite of order. It's chaos. Let's get back to it.
Look at reality. Look what's going on in the world. Look at what's going on in the world. Where you tell me where's the foundation?
The foundation is us.
Okay, it's
We are
us,
as
but
people, we are the foundation, man.
okay, so where is our land? Where is our communities going? Where's our Where are we going? Where is the foundation?
We are the foundation, and we are fighting white supremacy globally. You understand?
Okay, so can you agree that our foundation is constantly being attacked and torn down?
Yeah.
That's my
We're
point.
our
That's my point.
infrastructures are being attacked constantly.
Yeah, and as
And we
individuals,
stand and we are not broken. We
yeah,
can
no,
still
we're not broken. We're
we
not
ain't
broken.
broken.
But
We ain't broken at all. We turn up, we still turn up as foundational black Americans. We'll take this shit to the streets real quick. And
okay,
we'll
but
rebuild if we need, and we will rebuild if we need to, because the foundation is you. We are the foundation. The
okay,
spirit and
so
the energy and the mindset, that's the foundation,
okay,
ma'am.
so
That's
maybe
why, ma'am, that's why when we can go somewhere and get some shit popping.
okay,
And,
so
and then it'll get attacked, and then we go somewhere else and get it popping again, ma'am.
oh, okay, that's fine. That's
Now, let me point out something else. What this woman here, this Caribbean woman, okay, we're going to put her with her people. Let me point out something else to you that she doesn't understand, and women that talk like her don't understand. If you, being the first teacher of children, are a coward and you project this defeatist mentality, it programs that into the little girls, okay? And they don't understand that when they grow up that they're not supposed to seek out cowardly men. But see, let me tell you why it's further detrimental to future generations. If you're cowardly like that and you're raising a boy, and Lord knows you don't need to be raising a boy by yourself. A boy needs his father. Both children need their fathers. But if you're raising a boy and he doesn't have a father around and this is all he has to look forward to, you are breaking the next generation that's supposed to be future protectors. You understand? See, it's deeper than just being offended at what she's saying. I'm breaking it down to you the long-term effects this type of cowardice has. Cowardice is not something that is a customary to our lineage. We reject that because if most of us were cowards, we wouldn't be here today. Understand something. If most of our ancestors, when they were in bondage, in slavery, if most of our ancestors did not have the will to survive and be free, all of them would have committed suicide. Now, some did. There are historical accounts of some that were brought over on those ships. They decided to drown themselves rather than live in bondage. You can make of that what you will, but that wasn't everybody. There were those of us that are descendants from those slaves here, foundational Black American freedmen, those of us that are descended from this lineage. You had an ancestor that said, damn it, by whatever means necessary, I'm going to survive this. Because we wouldn't be here. You wouldn't be here to type in this chat room if you didn't. You understand? See, this is what they don't understand, why we honor and revere our ancestors and our grandmaster teachers, because if they didn't pull us up on knowledge that we need to survive, we respect what they went through, knowing all the things that they suffered. You look, just think back to what they had to endure. You had to be a hell of a person to endure that. And see, this is why it's laughable when I hear any type of white supremacist try to call my people lazy or put us down. I'm like, you couldn't have survived a fraction of what we were put through in chattel slavery here in this country. You couldn't have. I'm just going to go ahead and say it. Listen, fellas, let me tell you something. Anytime a white supremacist male tries to denigrate you, you can look him square in the eye and tell him, you're not even half the man that I am. You're a lesser man than me. Yes, I said it. I said it just like that. How you gonna stand on equal footing with black manhood when you haven't been through a damn thing my ancestors been through? Yes, I put you on the footing of a lesser man than me. Yes, I do. You may be in a system where you have more economics, unearned benefits. You may be in a system where you can get your judge in a case to act as your defense attorney. Shout out Kyle Rittenhouse, okay? You might be that, but see, even that, the very system that you've organized against my people proves how weak you are. I don't ever look at these people as if they're above me. How? The history isn't there to back that up at all. You understand me? See, that's what my family instilled in me. And it's not just arrogant exaggeration, it's the truth. You better go back if you're new to this channel. Look at the history that I present to you. You ain't gonna find nothing fabricated over here. We don't do that. So that's the encouragement I would have for future younger generations. Don't you let these people belittle you. They don't have half the fortitude that our people have. Okay? And see, her Caribbean lineage, whatever she came from that's got her talking like that, hey man, nah, I feel for it, but don't bring that over here. Let's let it continue.
What I'm saying is, as far as individual foundation, we all have our individual foundation, right? But how about all them foundations come together and build a larger, a bigger foundation, a
Okay.
solid foundation.
Okay. All right.
Because what we seeing, yeah, I do my part, you do your part. It's a lot of individuals that
Okay. Let me land her plane. She's just kind of saying the word foundation over and over again. Okay. Now, ma'am, that sounds like your spirit about to get broken. Let's be very clear. We are the foundation as people. As a people, we done survived all of this shit. These people have destroyed what infrastructures we created. We go back and build again. We do things in a covert way. We create infrastructures covertly. We created music covertly. When they said you can't have this, we created some other shit covertly that they didn't even know about. We are the goddamn foundation. See, that's almost tether talk that sister has. I should have asked where she's from. When these folks sit up and say, you can't have that, we'll go build it somewhere else and we'll do it covertly and still maintain the cultural continuity that we need to survive. That's what makes us the foundation, because they didn't break us. When they told us, hey, you guys can't you can't read books, we created a Tut language where we taught each other secretly how to read. That's why most people don't even know about Tut to this day. When they told us you can't have them drums over here sending messages to each other, we learned how to do the patent juba and the stomp dance in order to use our bodies as percussions so we can send messages to each other. That's a foundation, and that foundation is still seen in the Greek step dance and other things that we do today. When they say we couldn't eat a certain food, we created our own foods out of what they gave us. That's a foundation. When they deprived us of one thing, we created something else. When they told us to go out here and keep our mouths shut and just sing, we created songs that sent messages to each other, gospel songs and hymns that would send messages to each other on how to get back at these white supremacists. That's a foundation. They didn't break us just because they attacked the infrastructures or whatever we built. The spirit and the mindset is still here, and that's never been broken. Collectively, yeah, we do have some, yeah, we got some broken niggas here and there, but collectively, we haven't been broken. You understand? And we have Teddy, somebody named Teddy, doing the thumbs down. I don't this Teddy Cristiano, this is a Latino cat who keeps thumbing down. Teddy?
Salute to the good brother Amir L for the cash app. In fact, the business, Amir L, you brought up a very good point. Brother Amir L says in the chat, he says the problem with being an individual is that it leaves you vulnerable. Being in a group, even a small group with a code, will make you many times stronger. Our FBA ancestors taught us to use that, and you are absolutely right, brother. Because see, I'm going to build on what Brother Tariq was telling her or explaining to the audience in the Twitter X space at the time about the foundation. Let me, we're going to do this. We're going to talk about it for the men and the women. I'm going to start with the men. Brothers, because I know those of you in here come from vast backgrounds. Some of you are married. Some of you, have children, even if you're not. Answer this question. I guarantee we all agree on this. For those of you, especially the married brothers, when you can just sit back and look at the fruits of your labor and you see that everybody got clothes on their back, food in their stomach, okay, and they got lights, utilities, water, whatever they need is taken care of, wants and needs. And you just sit back and look at your family in silence sometimes and say, you know what? I'm the one that keep everybody here upheld and uplifted. That's my part as the foundation of my family. Let me tell you something. There's nothing in the world that fills you with more pride than that. That inspires you to go out and do more. You understand? Look, y'all get where I'm coming from, fellas. So that's the part as far as the men. For you sisters, being that you are homemakers, nurturers to your children, when you And see, this is why we tell these helpers out here talking about, I ain't going out to this place to eat, and they don't know how to cook. Let me tell you something. Every woman in here that understands this knows the pride that you take in making sure that you fix a healthy, wholesome meal and you feed everybody in your household. That's something to take pride in. That's the furthest thing from slavery, because, hey, if you're feeding your producer that goes out to work for you, that's your part. You're helping keep that foundation secure. That's a part of that. Look, I got to give Corey Holcomb credit for this. Yo, he said on 5150 show, he said that a woman's kitchen should be her hospital. And I agree wholeheartedly with that. We take him, whether you like Corey Holcomb or not, that's some wisdom right there. Let's go further than that. For the women, the foundation is also being the voice of reason in the family, okay? Because let's take it back to Big Mama, Grandma, whatever you want to call her. Everybody knows, or everybody that had got to know your grandmothers on either side of your family, you know that no matter what was going on in the family, if there was a conflict, Grandma could get everybody together and squash that a lot of times. A lot of the times, because of the respect that you have for your grandmother, you wouldn't engage in certain things. See, grandparents in general, but particularly the grandmothers, a lot of us that come from families like I'm describing, I understand it's not everybody's situation, but I want you to listen to what I'm saying. A lot of us that come from families like that, we don't engage in certain things because we know that will bring a shame to our family name. You understand? See, when you talk about honor and integrity, you know, you have to look at what the role of each individual in the family is. And see, listen, let me tell you something right now. All of mine have transitioned, but I can guarantee you this, and some of my family may be listening to this broadcast. If you would have ever tried to do some harm to any of our grandparents, particularly our grandmothers, boy, let me tell you something, boy. Not only if I got my hands on you would you be finished, I got a whole slew of cousins, boy. We would tag your ass from pillar to post for grandma. You understand? Oh, we didn't play the radio about that. Look, it was known that we would do it too. So, you know, most people, they respected our grandparents, but listen, if you were stupid enough to try it, let's just say you learned that the hard way, that wasn't something that dog wasn't gonna hunt. Okay. So when it comes to the foundation, you need to think about what your particular role is in the family and take pride in that. Okay. See, the nucleus of a community is strong Black families. You understand? You can't have a strong community without strong families. See, that's why all this stupidity that's being pushed with the gender war and crap, they're pushing the Sukihana, sexy red culture, the blue faces, and all that other garbage. That doesn't lead to anything strong. What that is the opposite. It's weakness. It weakens you mentally. It weakens you spiritually. It weakens you morally, okay? And if you're weak in all of those three areas, guess what? You are easy to subjugate and conquer. Do you not understand that? And I'm going to keep going here with it. The sexy red and the Sukihanas, the blue faces, whatever you want to name, that type of degenerate, lowbrow, low vibrational culture, that right there, that's basically invisible chains to keep you subjugated. People like that are not a threat to the system of white supremacy in any way, shape, form, or fashion. Why do you think they keep throwing money behind the machines to mass produce them? See, let's break this down in phases. I know I said I was going to mention this in a future broadcast, but I need to put this in here before we let this continue. Before Sexy Red and Sukihana, remember, it was Cardi B, Nicki Minaj, Meg Thee Stallion. Okay. People didn't like a lot of that. You know, those of us that don't go like, okay, this right here. Yeah, you probably got a few verses here that the people like, but this ain't what we want promoted as the face of our people. And I know Cardi B ain't Black. She no Black. Okay. Yeah. I know Black. But what happened was the corporate white degenerates, I'm going to call them what they are. They said, you know what? Y'all getting a little long in the tooth. You're getting old. We can't get that much mileage out of you. We need to go younger, raunchier, and trashier because we have to weaponize the underbelly against intelligent Black society. So once they fell off, they cast them to the side and they went and plucked Sexy Red and Sukihana out of obscurity. And they were like, perfect. You are degenerates that will do anything for money. We're going to really do some damage through you. Then they went and found Lil Nas X's goofy ass. Thankfully, he fell off and he ain't coming back. Okay, it's over with. They're going to have to find a new a new gimmick, okay, a new Trojan horse, so to speak. All right. So I want you to understand how they weaponize entertainment against us. But see, forewarned is forearmed. When you can recognize something, you have a chance to fight back against it. Okay. So yeah, that's why I wanted to point it out. So we're gonna get further in analyzing this because we're not done yet. And see, like the theme of tonight's broadcast, what y'all gonna understand is our lineage, our rules. You don't get to come over here and call shots on our lineage when you come from a field culture. Let it continue.
Yo, what's up, Tariq?
What's going on, Teddy? So what's with the thumbs down? Do you disagree with what we're saying here?
I'm actually not Latino exactly, but I do live in the Florida area.
Oh,
I mean,
you're not Latino
everybody.
with a name like Cristiano? What is that? Or is that a
I'm
stage?
a black.
Go ahead, Teddy.
Yeah,
You're black and what?
I'm Caribbean and Italian.
Oh, okay. Yeah, Italian. What part of the Caribbean is your mom from?
How did you know that?
Because
My
those Caribbean women love going for them Italian white men. But go ahead. Is it Cuba?
No, the Cayman Islands.
Okay. Okay. So what do you disagree with anything we're saying over here? I see a lot of thumbs down. What's that about?
I can't get reparations too. You know, I mean,
Reparations, but from who?
from America. I mean, I was born here. My father was born here. My grandparents were born here, and then before that, they came, through Ellis Island. So I mean, I am American partially,
And
and a lot of my ancestors helped a lot of America as well. Marcus Garvey was Jamaican. He was here in.
Okay, I got to stop it right here. See, well, let's deal with a couple of things off the bat because Brother Tariq gonna break this down. But tell this, let me tell y'all something. If you are not a part of our lineage, meaning if you cannot trace your ancestry back from one of your parents, if not both, but definitely at least one, which will make you half foundational Black American, back to American chattel slavery. Keyword American chattel slavery, not Caribbean chattel slavery, not anywhere else. Slavery right here on this land. If you cannot trace your lineage back to that, you are not a foundational Black American and you're not eligible for reparations. Just being born in America does not make you one of us. Okay, when neither one of your parents is of our lineage, y'all better cut that out. No, there's not going to be no finesse and backdoor your way into that. We're not playing about that paperwork check. It's not going to happen, okay? That's just not going to happen. And see, when you start talking about Marcus Garvey, y'all over here in New Black Media Space know where I'm finna go. You need to tell the whole story about that because Marcus Garvey couldn't get Pan-Africanism off the ground in Jamaica. We got to tell the truth. Yeah, they wasn't trying to hear that. He had to come here and get it popping amongst our lineage. And then upon leaving and going back, you disgrace Marcus Garvey. They did at that time. They disgraced Marcus Garvey by voting for a white man for governor over him. That's what happened. So don't try to act like, they all, and look, let me further thread this needle, whether it's Marcus Garvey or any of the older names they tried to name that actually put in work. Ask them this one question when they start trying to do that, when they start trying to rely off the accomplishments of the past. Start asking them, okay, do you stand for what Marcus Garvey stood for back then today? Are you a representation of that? No, you're not. They're the furthest thing from it. So that's how you shut that down if you hear those talking points when they start doing that. This is why it pays to have a strong command of history so you're able to do that. But we're going to let this continue because, I mean, look, they so desperate at one point, they was busy telling us, oh, what we not, and oh, boy, you Yankees and the Cotters and all this other stuff. And now everybody trying to come and jump on board the ship. No, stay where you at. We cool on that. We get it. You taught us the lesson. Don't you understand? We get it now. We not y'all, okay? That's what y'all told us. We not y'all. We cool with that now. We done with that everybody all black stuff because you are black. You're just not of our lineage. Fine, no problem. We get the lesson now. It took us a while to get it. But hey, better late than never. Salute to our own code brothers and sisters that are not of our lineage. We love y'all to death. We rock with you. Okay, if you on code, but those of you that's in that tether class and you're trying to do what this guy's trying to do, would I be eligible for reparation? No, you wouldn't. You're not from our lineage. That's just like one of us, foundational Black American freedmen, going to South Africa and saying, hey, we want reparations for apartheid. None of our family was from over there. But that would be an insult to them people. None of our family lineage went through apartheid over there, so we would be ineligible for that. And the nerve of us for trying it, they would have every right to be angry at us if we tried that. No. And see, when it comes to CARICOM, that's where he needs to go. You need to dip down there. Because CARICOM isn't including us in their reparations claim. They're not. So what's good for the goose is good for the gander. You're not going to be included in ours either. You need to go down to where you from, roll up your sleeves, and put in the same work that we put in to get this movement where we got it at this point here in our country today. Let's let it continue.
In New York.
But he's not from the Cayman Islands.
Right, but he's a Caribbean tether, like you like to call Caribbean people tethers, right?
So what you need to do is holler at CARICOM. They have a
And let me deal with that too when they start trying to bring up that gaslighting talking point about they'll bring up somebody like Marcus Garvey or the Honorable Dr. Amos Wilson, you know what I'm saying, or Dr. Yosef Ben Yakinen, and try to say, well, wouldn't they be tethers too? No, because a tether has a specific definition. Don't try that whole crap where y'all come over and just say, well, y'all call anybody that's not in your lineage a tether. No, a tether means somebody that's disrespectful. The people that y'all are naming, we revere them more than you do in your homelands. You understand? Oh yeah, we got to tell the truth about that. So that's something else. We gonna put the hammer down on that in 2024. All that gaslighting, that's going to be cut loose. Because see, let's be clear about that before we get back to this. Family, where they get those tactics from, they get those tactics from the white supremacists. That's what they do. They're doing their best little white daddy imitation. Now, everything, look, if you don't believe me about that, think about the names they call us in these X spaces. Think about how you look at that clip where, we seen it going around where the African sister was trying to cross, look like a stream or a river with some bamboo sticks and she fell in. A lot of them goofy ass tethers was sitting there mocking their own people with the damn white supremacists. Now, what the hell did that tell you? Because see, a lot of them actually do believe that their nations would be better off if white people's in charge. Because everybody that looks like them, that's, selling their people out, they think that they're just so incompetent they can't do anything. See, that's pathetic. Let me tell you one damn thing you won't see on social media from a large number of foundational Black Americans. If them folks start mocking our people, ain't none of us that's of a lineage, we not going to go along with that. You will have to be the Larry Elder type to do it, but we don't do that. See, look, like the sister earlier, the Ethiopian sister was saying, talking about strength in numbers. No, baby, we got to get these minds right before we can have any type of real unity. Because that's off cold as hell right there. If you gonna sit there and kiki and kaka with them people mocking the tragedy of your people or anything that happens, what would you do with us? We can't trust you. Yeah, for those that have that mindset, nah, we don't side with the white supremacists against our people. We just don't do that, okay? Those of us with sense that are on code. Let's let it continue.
Reparations movement called CARICOM, where they got all the Caribbean nations are trying to get their reparations from Britain and France and Spain. So why don't you holler at CARICOM? How are you trying to latch on to our reparations claim and you're not remotely qualified for it?
But I mean, my father was born here and my grandparents were born here. Just my great grandparents, on that side.
As a white man from Italy, what does that mean? How would that make you qualify for reparations?
I mean, if it wasn't for Italians now, I mean, a lot of Black people wouldn't really be accepted in American society because especially like the Southern Italians, they have a little bit of a, hue to their skin, they're a little dark.
Boy, these people right here, boy, the audacity and the nerve. See, tell this, especially those of you that have like one white parent Just because you don't know the history of our people in this country doesn't mean that we don't. Let me tell you something about the Italians in this country, and go look this up for yourselves. First of all, if they wasn't a part of the Italian mafia targeting black folks, talking about if it wasn't for Italians, if it wasn't part of the Italian mafia targeting black people with their anti-black racist asses, they joined the police forces to oppress us. The Italians and the Irish, yes. Yes. Don't you dare come over here talking about what we wouldn't have went for y'all. Who you think you fooling, man? Who you think you fooling? Look, this clown right here, if you hadn't laughed yet, you about to. If you didn't hear this the first time when it originally aired, oh man, you in for a hell of a treat. This dude is about to get ridiculous. Listen to the babble that's about to come out this confused Tether's mouth.
Dark. And them being
what sense does that make? What does that mean? That don't make a lick of sense on the planet Earth. How would Italians accept it? How we were here way before Italians. This is our nation. We built it. Italians fled here. Italians fled here around the 1880s. But go ahead.
Right, but because Italians came in and made their own way and got accepted into American society, right? What happened is other groups started getting accepted in, and other minority groups, or I don't even like to use that word, minority groups got accepted in.
That's not, where did you get that? Where did you get that lie from? When did Italians help us do anything?
It's not necessarily that they specifically help. It's that because of what they did in America, people started saying, okay, well, why don't we let in Hispanics? And then why don't we let in
that
Black?
Didn't work for us. No, we were already here. You didn't let us in. We were already here. We built this nation. They didn't let us in anything.
Now, notice what this goofy Tether just tried. When Tariq asked him, okay, when did they help us? Well, they didn't necessarily help, but it's because of what they did to let other people in. I'm like, okay, one, if you didn't help us, we don't owe you a damn thing. We don't owe anybody anything but an ass whooping, like Dr. John Henry Clark said. Rest in peace, our immortal ancestor and grandmaster teacher. And number two, he tried to act as if Italians went through the civil rights movement to allow other groups to come over here. Oh my God, do you hear this asinine foolishness? Some of you are pure comedy, man. If it wasn't so insulting, that is pure comedy. And then to try it with somebody like Brother Tariq of all people. Come on, man. I mean, I get it. A lot of trolls love to come to the brother spaces, but don't do that. Don't go over there to that brother of all people trying to pull off anything and where you rewriting history. That's just not gonna fly. You know what I'm saying? And look, if he don't get you, we catch you outside in some of our other spaces, even if he or other people are not present, we gonna burn you with it. Don't you dare come across the space that I happen to be in too, and I get a microphone. I will make short work of those lives, boy. Because that's one thing I can do. I can take each one of these groups that are Johnny Come Latelys over here, and I can walk them down their history, chapter and verse, with no ad hominem, no curse words, and I will have your ass fighting mad at the truth that I tell about just how much we don't owe you. Let's get back to it.
Italians didn't help us, sir.
Word. But I mean, that's kind of like a segue. I mean, I was raised in the Caribbean. I was raised by my mother. So I just want to find out from you, like, what's your problem with Caribbean people or with African people or with
That's Black? A projection. Who said I had a problem with them?
I mean, okay, I see, I've actually been following you for a while. I've been a fan of yours, and I definitely support.
That's another tactic y'all got to watch out for too, family. When they'll come over into, whether it's Brother Tariq spaces or anybody, they start trying to butter you up. Well, I'm a fan of yours. Look, let me tell you something. I don't care if you was a fan of mine. I really wouldn't care, because when it comes to standing on the truth, you being a fan or not, that's irrelevant to me. We're not going to let you practice deception in none of these new black media spaces. That's just not going to happen, okay? So whether you're a fan or you're not a fan, I don't know. Look, a lot of the tethers, let me tell you why they do that. They think because, okay, if white people come around them and they kiss their asses, so that they can make them drop their guard, so they can molest their children, et cetera, they think that, okay, because that worked on us, well, Zaddy taught us this tactic by doing it to us, we'll use that on you. That don't work on us. No, you trying to butter us up about things isn't going to make us drop our guard, because we already hear what's coming out your mouth. It's a bunch of cowardice. No, you have no say in our affairs. It's our lineage, our rules.
Support reparations for Black Americans for foundational.
But how are you trying to latch on to it and you're not qualified for it?
But there's tons of people in America that are not qualified for something and they're getting paid. There's
like what?
In the industry that I work in for my day job, there's Mexicans getting checks from your California governor. There's
Right.
Mexicans right now getting checks. They're getting a lot of money.
Right.
So I mean,
you want to run a finesse on foundational Black American society. That's what you're saying. You want to use our reparations for finesse.
I pay taxes too.
And
I am contributing. And
those tax dollars should go to reparations for foundational Black Americans who descended from freedmen. You're not a descendant of freedmen. You're a descendant of fleed men. Y'all fled, sir. That's different.
I don't mind if you get it first. I don't even mind if you get the lion's share, but it's a little bit discriminatory to say that I should get nothing because I'm American too. I'm also a descendant of slaves. I also
the Caribbean,
actually
your slaves in the Caribbean, but not here. That's why you need to go to the Caribbean. That's not discriminatory. Is it discriminatory that we're not included in CARICOM's claim? They don't include foundational Black Americans in CARICOM. Is that discriminatory?
My mother's country right now is a colonial island. It's still a colony of Britain. The people there are a minority in their own land.
You got to holler at Britain, brother. Holler at Britain about that, sir. We're hollering at the United States government to get what's owed to our lineage. That's not
responsible.
Yeah.
America is responsible. Do you know why? Because they do things to Caribbean countries, to Latin American countries, to African countries to destroy their infrastructure, to destroy the
But Britain is the one that had you colonized. How come you ain't?
Now I got to pause it right there because, okay, since this tether is so aware of what America does to the countries and government, because that's true. All you have to do is read the book Confessions of an Economic Hitman to get the breakdown on that. And the new Confessions of an Economic Hitman, read both of those books. Since he happens to have all that knowledge, though, here's a question then. If you know all of that, then why do so many of you seek to kiss their asses and join the system of white supremacy? See, boy, I'm going to tell you something. The tethers don't like having conversations with me. Because see, for all that trolling and goofy stuff they try to do, I'm going to bring it right back around to logic, just like Brother Tariq is going to do here, okay? If you know all of that and you recognize all of that, why are y'all so busy trying to side with them? Okay, and then look, this is a biracial tether too. Oh my God. He half Italian, half white, and half Caribbean. You can't do, man. I already know he confused. I hate to say it, but I can tell that this one is confused, boy. He don't know whether to eat spaghetti or some cocoa bread. You know what I'm saying? He don't know which one to go get. I mean, I got jokes, but I'm saying, man, for him to try that, and it's such a gutless and spineless thing to try to latch on to our reparations claim instead of putting in the work where you from to get your reparations. Instead of trying to latch on to somebody else's hard work like a damn parasite, go down there and roll your sleeves up and get involved in the CARICOM movement. That's where they need you. No, bro, you can't eat off our plate no more, bro. No, if you have to be of our lineage to get these reparations. That's just bottom line. That's just the way it's going to have to be. No, go put in the work and get what you're owed. It's as simple as that.
Getting at Britain.
For centuries, the CIA has been going into Caribbean countries, the Latin countries, and African countries, destroying the countries. And then when we come here, you want to say, oh, this and that. But listen, what is your problem with a Caribbean person? I mean, we're both Black.
Hey, you just keep saying the same projection, sir. You're just projecting. Because I've said I don't have any problem with Caribbean people. That's a projection that you have. Are you being like your white father, sir? Are you being like your white daddy? Teddy Ravioli, hop on, brother. I mean, whatever your name is. I don't know what your name is, Teddy. Teddy, hop on. Teddy? Teddy, unmute your microphone, sir. I think you done dropped some Chef Boyardee on your microphone or something, sir. You done muted yourself. Unmute yourself, sir.
Why
Teddy?
did you do that? You
Okay.
muted me.
All right. It took you a minute to unmute yourself. All right. Pay attention, Teddy, because you're just kind of babbling here. Teddy, you know good and well you're not qualified to get reparations from the United States government because you were not enslaved here in the United States. You know, that's something for foundational Black Americans. So why would you want to try to launch onto that, something you're not qualified to get? Why don't you go holler at CARICOM? Well, stand up for your lineage like we're standing up for ours, right?
Your government, okay, works with Europe to oppress Caribbean nations, Hispanic nations, and African nations. And because of your CIA, a lot of Caribbeans had to come here and compete with you, Black Americans. Because of your CIA, a lot of Hispanics had to come here and compete with you, Black Americans. Because of your CIA, a lot of Africans came here.
Well, you
Asian
didn't have, sir, you didn't have a problem with it because your family fled here. If it was so bad, you wouldn't have fled to somebody who did all of that oppressing, sir. You hopped on the first thing smoking to come on over here and get all these benefits. So it wasn't that bad, sir. If it was that bad, you wouldn't have fled over here, sir. So you can't complain. All right? Y'all fled to
as
come over
far
here.
as the lineage goes, we did not flee. We were royalty. We did not flee.
Who was royalty?
Okay.
Who was royalty?
My grandfather was a politician in Grand Cayman. My great grandfather, he was a lawyer from Barbados, and he brought secondary education to the Cayman Islands.
Okay.
So I come
No,
into
because if you were royalty, you'd still be over there in the Grand Cayman being royal. You wouldn't hop on an inner tube to get the hell out of here. Y'all got that Caribbean Prince of Zamunda bullshit the Kenyan dude had. Y'all always try to act like y'all come from some royal lineage somewhere, but you had to flee from it. You are not from no royal lineage. You don't flee from royalty. Y'all were in shanty towns eating rat sandwiches, and you hopped on the first thing floating to get over here under foundational Black Americans so we can protect you from white supremacy. So miss me with all of that. We had mansions and yachts and all of this royalty. You didn't. All right, let's stop
okay.
that.
Can I unpack some of the stuff that you said? Okay, so you said
Unpack it. Let's unpack.
that okay, in the Cayman Islands, you said that people are eating rat sandwiches. Sir, that's the fifth largest financial center in the world. That's the Switzerland of the Cayman Islands. I
Yes.
mean
And the people
of
there, the average citizens aren't benefiting from it. It's a banking hub where they wash money, where a few elite families benefit from it, particularly white British, and they are Negro puppets over there in the Caribbean, sir. The people there, the regular citizens, they ain't getting none of that paper. So let's don't play that game, all right?
so give me my reparations then, because your CIA work with Britain, work with France, work with Spain, work with Europe, and your government oppresses us. So give us reparations too, and we'll join hands with you and be more support.
That's not reparations for slavery. We have a very specific claim about slavery. I don't know what you
And
want
we are
reparations for.
Now, notice how he just keeps going on and on about, well, let us join hands with you and us too. Look, this goes back to what I keep saying about that type of weak to the class male. Do your own work. No, you're not going to come over here. See, look, basically what you tell us want to do for those of you that have his type of mindset here, this Teddy Ravioli, Brother Three, hit him with the Teddy Ravioli. Lord have mercy. Basically what you want to do, though, tell us, that's the equivalent of a championship team winning, you know what I'm saying, a playoff or championship finals or whatever, and then after all the work is done, you sat on the bench the whole time, and you want to run out there, yeah, we did it, fellas. Like, no, player, what you do, towel boy? You passed out some towels. Yeah, no, see, look, and see, it's true for, like, you know, if you're in the NBA or the NFL, everybody on the staff gets a ring. But see, this is not that. Everybody don't get a ring over here. This is if you're not from our lineage and you hadn't put in no work, everybody don't get a ring over here in this instance. No, you need to go roll up your sleeves and put in your own work. And see, for you tether class males, what is it about you? Were you afraid to get things done? See, instead of you wasting time trying to beg and eat off our plate, because you be the first one, you begging the white man. Okay, well, you begging us to get what we're owed. No. All this time you wasting scrambling and fleeing and begging, you could be doing some work and making progress back in your home nations. No, I mean, it get to a point. It's kind of like, you know, think about, you know what? I got to go here with it. I got to be petty, family. I got to do this. No disrespect to my heavyset brothers and sisters, because I know y'all like, what we do, y'all didn't do nothing. It's just an analogy. But that's similar to the little greedy fat kid that's always begging for your snacks. I'm hungry. Hey, can I get some of that? No, fat soul. I just gave you some. I want something else. Well, you gonna have to, you have to get it from else. I can't give you. No, fat kid. You can't have none of our cake, okay? Get your hands ready. Put you some gloves on. Roll your sleeves up. Take them Fleet Force ones off and put on some work boots and get busy. No more cake for you. You can't eat off our plate. Let's get back to it.
Well, you got reparations for you, but you were able to flee over here and eat off our tax dollars. That was your reparations, sir. So you're welcome. We already gave it to you. You being able to flee here and eat. That's your reparations right there.
I am a citizen of the Cayman Islands. I'm a citizen of Britain, and I'm also a citizen of America. So nobody fled.
You're right. You're an anchor baby, and you're the only reason you're a citizen here is because of black people like William Nesbitt and other black folks on the grassroots who fought for the 14th Amendment and the 13th Amendment so that you can become a birthright citizen here, so that you can become an anchor baby. And that was foundational black Americans fighting for that, sir. So again, you're welcome. You already got reparations.
No. Before that, Italians came here and they paved their own way before black Americans did all of that. So it's not just
No, they didn't. No, we had the birthright citizenship going. That's why Italians were able to come over here. All right. They were able to flee from Italy, the slums of Italy, with the little crumbs in their pockets. And oftentimes they stayed among black people. They stayed around black people in New Orleans. We took care of Italian people. They stayed in some of the black areas. And how did Italians repay us? By forming the mafia and flooding us with drugs. So yeah, that's not really a good deal.
Let me ask you a question, Tariq Nasheed. What is your religion?
Doesn't matter, dude. Doesn't matter. That's inconsequential. My religion is black empowerment. That's the only religion I subscribe to, sir. But have you been over to have you went over to Italy to see some of the family who didn't flee, or are you not welcome in that side of the family? Because they're very funny style about the white men slumming when they get to the Western Hemisphere.
Yeah, I mean, because I'm not pure white, yeah, I'm not really accepted by that side.
And again, you're welcome.
I mean,
because you had to come over here to Foundational Black Americans because the white side wasn't really checking for you. So we had to feed you. We had to uplift you and have you get your shit together. So you're welcome, sir. Just a nice you're welcome should be great. You guys are very ungrateful for all the things we've done for you.
Okay, let me ask you a question. What's the animosity? Did you get beat up in high school by a Caribbean guy or by a Nigerian?
Why would I have animosity in my own homeland against a foreigner who's not a threat to me? You're not a threat to me or any other Caribbean. Why would I have animosity towards somebody who's down bad and having to flee? You don't hate down, you hate up. Right?
Okay, but everybody that comes to America is not fleeing. I don't know why you love saying that. You just love saying that because This
because we're not buying the whole Prince of Zamunda bullshit that y'all try to come over here with. Y'all try to make it seem like you were royalty back home and you came over here. You were invited by the Clintons and you had some kind of diplomatic immunity bullshit. No, you fled. No, you fled, dude. Let's stop it. Y'all stop lying. That's the problem I have is when y'all lie and y'all try to make your fleeing sound more dramatic than what it is. You just hopped on the inner tube and brought your ass over here because y'all were hungry and y'all needed somebody to feed you, and that was us. That's the long and short of it. Stop trying to lie to us with all of these tall tales of royalty. You're not royal, dude. Yeah, you came and ate off us, and that's okay. Just show thanks and respect. That's all we ask. Right?
actually I am, because my great grandmother, she was an Indian from Nicaragua, and she was from a royal line
Okay, but
from the
your
Miss.
tree, dude, you got Caribbeans, Jamaicans, Italians, Nicaraguans, all these people in your family. You got the biggest family tree ever. Okay?
Do you realize maybe one day foundational Black Americans might get wiped out because they're all going to
And
get mixed in?
you got the biggest
It's
family tree all over the
all-
world, but you trying to finesse our reparations. You ain't trying to get nothing from Italy, nothing from Nicaragua, nothing from the Caymans, nothing from Britain. You over here with your
You
hand out trying to dip into our damn plate, brother. Do you see how that's a problem?
you stole Afro beats, you stole reggae, you got Drake singing Afro beats and like dancehall style beats.
See, this is pathetic, man. I let that go on for a while because I wanted you to hear how weak this clown sounds. Steady trying to see. You know what? What they be hoping they can do? They can guilt and shame us into saying, "Okay, y'all can come on over here and continue to eat off our plates." No, the first thing you need to do is get that janky ass phone fixed. Tell the boy, okay, Teddy Ravioli, put the ravioli down and get your phone fixed. I mean, cause look, hey, I know a lot of y'all was like, man, now is this the stream? Oh no, that's Teddy Ravioli, because you can hear Tariq fine, you can hear me coming in crystal clear. That's his raggedy ass phone. Okay, he needs to start there. Get a better phone. Okay, get that going, and then go ease on down to Caricom and roll them sleeves up and put in some work. Okay, look. The only thing we got for you, I'll tell you what we'll do, family. Let's see if y'all agree on this. Can we be generous enough and give him the complimentary gift of a fine quality leather set of HYON gloves? Now, what type of gloves are those? The Hold Your Own Nut collection of gloves. Yes, you tellers can get a fine quality pair of those gloves. Those of you asking us for things. No, you can't have anything off our plate, but we can hand you these quality gloves so you can put them on and get a firm grasp upon your testicles and prepare to use them to do some work. That's what you need to do. I think that's what we need to give them, family. That's all I got for them. That's all I got for them. I know I'm tired, man. I'm tired for my ancestors. You done rolled our backs long enough. It's time for you to go put in your own work. So the HYON collection, that's what we're going to do. We're going to give you that. That's all we can do for you. Let's let it continue.
So we all borrow from each other.
Do
We're
you
all
know where Afro Beats came from? Fela Kuti said he got it from the black folks over here, sir. We didn't steal nothing. You got it from us.
They were doing that years ago in Africa and in the Caribbean too, bro. You stole soca.
Fela Kuti
you
said he
stole
got it from us. They got Afro Beats
beats.
from us, sir. And the Afro Beats artists now are basically doing remixes of foundational Black American R&B songs from the 90s. So what you talking about?
Let me ask you a question though. The reason why I asked you that, because I noticed that you have all these like voodoo type things that you're selling. Like you got the voodoo deodorant. Like
Voodoo?
you're
I don't have voodoo
pushing like a.
deodorant.
And see, one thing I want you to also notice, I got to bring this back up. You can tell that they get this crap from white supremacists because think about the white supremacist trolls that come into our spaces. And when they do get allowed a chance to speak, they'll throw one set of talking points out there that's full of crap. Then when that gets debunked, they'll jump to something else. And then they just basically try to just jump from one thing to the next, just one thing after another, one thing after another. Nothing with anything based on any type of facts that they can substantiate. It's just trolling, basically. You see what I'm saying? Because you know when you come up against a brother like Tariq or any of us that are well versed on these things, we gonna give you that work. We gonna give you that work, and you gonna look like twice the fool it takes to be one. But see, you know, I'm gonna be honest with you, man. It's so pathetic when the men do this, because at the end of the day, if you listen to this and listen to how yourself sound, how can you be proud of that? Grown men don't carry on like that, tell the boy. That we don't, man. You sitting over here whining and begging another man for something that you're not even entitled to. You're not entitled to our reparations. You're not of our lineage. This is pathetic. And then imagine how the women look at him. You know what I'm saying? That's not a sign of strength at all, man. Y'all keep that weak noodle spine nonsense over there in y'all culture, man. Don't drop that off over here. Go get with your fellow tethers and huddle in a corner somewhere and strategize on how you gonna chase Becky so you can run across the city like Jonathan Majors. Go ahead and do that, because that's what y'all really want. Let's get back to it.
I don't have voodoo deodorant. Voodoo is a religion. Nobody's over here practicing the religion of voodoo.
That's your God? Voodoo?
Voodoo is a religion. No, we have something about root work and hoodoo. Hoodoo is not a religion.
That comes from hoodoo. The hoodoo, the voodoo is all the same thing.
No, it's not. Hoodoo is not a religion. Voodoo is a religion. They have deities, they have gods in there. No disrespect to them. I love the god of Ogun because it's all about fighting white supremacy. But hoodoo and root work, that's just about a spiritual connection to earth and nature. That's not a religion. That's a foundation of American culture. We were some of the first doctors over here in the United States. We were the ones healing. We understood having a spiritual connection to plants and nature, and we would heal people with that. We still do to a certain degree. That's a part of foundational Black American culture. See, when you flee, you can have a culture that's rooted that you can dig back in and utilize later on. See, that's what not fleeing does for you. You have a culture to draw from and get strength from, sir. Right?
So who fled? Me?
You and your family. Yeah.
Sir,
your whole family. You come from a family of fleers, sir. Right?
How?
Ass ain't, you ain't in Italy. You ain't in the Cayman Islands. You ain't in Nicaragua. You ain't in none of these places you name. You over here in my shit. You over here in our shit. In the land that foundational Black Americans built, sir.
Are you in Africa? So you fled too. The same thing.
Where I flee from?
You fled from Africa.
When?
If by your logic, you're saying that I fled. So
Africa,
you fled.
No, you said nobody in my family fled.
This video, you said there were Black people here before Christopher Columbus. I definitely that. So they fled Africa and they came here. So you're a fleer too.
No.
How that works?
No, sir. Sir. No, sir.
I gotta get him. Family. Lord have mercy. This is pathetic. Family, did you hear what he said? I see how that works. You see how that works? he really thought he was cooking there, didn't he? Oh my God. I'm telling you, I was trying to hold it in. Listen, man, I want y'all to go look up something called the Dunning-Kruger effect. Okay, if you don't know what that is, I want you to look that up. Look up the Dunning-Kruger effect, and then when you come back to this portion of the broadcast, I want you to apply it to that part right there. Boy, he thought he was doing so. You see how that works? No, you idiot. You didn't say anything smart. None of us are from the continent of Africa. No, we're not. We are over 500 years removed from that land. We had an ethnogenesis, okay? Most of us do not have any relatives in the continent of Africa. But see, let's just say we did, right? Let's go there with it. Okay. Those of you, especially you continental Africans, is talking about Pan-Africanism. I got a challenge for you. Okay. You say you're about Pan-Africanism? Then why don't you do what Israel does for Jewish people? Ooh, yeah, I went there with it. Why don't you have it where any Jewish person, they can leave here and go over to Israel and get citizenship? Why don't you start there? Since you say we y'all, right? Because they telling us we Africans too. That's what they telling us now, right? Because see, at first we weren't no Africans. That's what it was originally. Bless their little schizophrenic hearts. At first we weren't Africans. Now we are. Okay, if we Africans, what's going on with the citizenship? Hey, niggas, wait a minute. Now, the citizenship, we cannot do that. Okay, then. Well, then just go over there and leave us alone, man. Do what you need to do, bro. We gonna focus on us. You say you not. See, look, we gonna put an end to that schizophrenia you got going on in 2024. We not having that no more. But boy, it tickled me with that crowd, man. Oh, you think how that works? Boy, you can't make this up.
My family built a whole country from the bottom up. There was no United States until my family built it, sir. Centuries ago. That's not fleeing at all. We're the only non-immigrants. We didn't go somewhere better. We had to build something better from the mud. That's different from what you did. You just packed some bologna sandwiches and a can of ragu, and your family hopped on a boat to Ellis Island and just started eating off us, sir. That's way different, sir.
Kosher, so I don't eat bologna. I'm kosher.
Whatever you put on your ravioli, whatever, sir. But yeah, we didn't flee. We're the only non-fleers here. Right?
Let me question. What I want to do is a foundational. No, yes, I want your advice because I want to create an FMA lineage so that we can get reparations as well. Foundational mixed Americans, because we don't really get a lot of respect on the white side. We don't really get a lot of respect on the black side, or if you're Asian and black, or if you're Chinese and Mexican, whatever. I want a foundational mixed American lineage to be more recognized in America, and I want us to get our own reparations. You don't want to share with us? We're going to get our own reparations, and we're going to get it before you.
Now let me go ahead and pause it right here, because see, it just gets even more sad for this male tether right here. Y'all heard what this tether just said. See, if you think back to a particular broadcast that I did where I was getting on a certain coon that's pretending to be black, that's Afro-Latino, y'all remember who came in my chat room trying to insinuate a similar accusation as if we discriminate against light-skinned people or mixed people? It doesn't matter if you're light-skinned or mixed race or not, as long as one of your parents is a foundational Black American, then you will be eligible. This is about lineage. It's not about anybody's skin tone or how light a skin you are. No. If you have one foundational Black American Freedmen parent, whether it's your mother or your father, that would make you half FBA. Okay? See this crap that he got going on, and see, it's pathetic because, see, I gotta go here. You know, and no disrespect to anybody in my chat room that is biracial, or, you know, here you classified as black. We know on paper, but genetically you would be biracial. This is why, you know, brothers and sisters, please understand that when you go to procreate, you hear how confused this boy is. Because look, I honestly do feel a measure of sympathy for him. He doesn't have any type of grasp or foundation to his, you know, his lineage and his roots, because, you know, he all over the place. You know, he is. I mean, you gotta kind of, you know, you gotta kind of feel for him, man, because, you know, he running from everything because he doesn't have an identity that he's rooted in. And that's his parents' fault for that. That's his parents' fault. But I want y'all to listen to the rest of what he's about to say here, because like I said, man, yeah, y'all better make some serious decisions when it comes to who you procreate with. I mean, I'm just saying, listen to this. You see all the confusion in this boy's voice right here. Let's let it continue.
See, there's a contradiction, though. See, even the term, you're not foundational to America at all. You fled to America. So that, by definition, means you're not foundational. So FMA means fleeing to my America. So you fled here. You're not.
Salute to the good brother Project Leroy for the cash out. Thank you very much, my brother.
sir. You fled.
So your wife is mixed, and you wouldn't want her to get a foundational mixed American reparations?
Because her father's a foundational Black American, so she has a claim to the land, sir. She didn't flee.
Mother,
They didn't flee.
her mother, right?
It doesn't
So
matter. Dad, foundational Black American, sir. That's how that works. See, both of your
there's
parents,
black people.
both of your
There-
parents are fleas.
Black people
Both of your
because
parents.
she's mixed.
Your mama fled with some curry, and your dad fled with some spaghetti. All right. So you got two fleers for parents. So you're not qualified. You're not foundational to anything, sir.
And your parents fled the South with some fried chicken and some biscuits.
And there it is, right there, boy. Look, when you start debunking their BS, the white supremacists jump right on out of it. Your parents fled the South with the fried chicken and some biscuits. He just couldn't hold it in, boy. He got frustrated and he let that white side jump right on out, boy. Listen, man, see you tell us. It's gonna be a lot of y'all with the same frustration that this pathetic worm of a male and waste of genetics is right here. It's a lot of y'all gonna experience that. Cause see, it's only gonna get more codified and refined. You look, let me tell you something. This is the part that you really better pay attention to, because you're gonna hate me for this, because it's going to prove to be true, because I'm going to make sure that I do my part to get it to this point. It's going to get to a point that this is going to be the calm before the storm for you, okay? What do I mean by that? These are the good old days here where how it is now, where you're getting away with a lot of stuff. Oh, we're going to tighten that right on up. Oh, we are. Soon it's going to be to a point where you're going to be like, damn, we can't even go over there with the trolling and the goofiness no more. No, we're going to shut that down online and offline. That day of you undermining my lineage, that's over here. We're not going to have that. And see, let me tell you something else I'm starting to see. Those of our own code, Black immigrant brothers and sisters, they gonna tighten down on you too. Oh, I'm already starting to see it. Because we have brothers and sisters that are outside of our lineage that are on code. Look, you finna have a rough time in 2024. Oh, you better enjoy it. You better enjoy the mild part right now, because see, just like the white supremacists running around talking about when America was great for them, you finna start learning that lesson about coming amongst us and eating off our plates. The kitchen is closed, baby. If you ain't bringing no groceries to the kitchen to be cooked, if you're not going out in the wilderness hunting nothing, you don't get a plate. You just don't. No, you don't get nothing. You gonna eat what you kill from now on. That's the way it's gonna be. You're not going to sit back and have us doing all the hunting, and then you come eat after we've skinned it and cleaned everything and cooked it and everything. Oh, no. You're going to eat what you kill from here on out.
And that shit is delicious. Our food is delicious, sir. Fried chicken,
So what
fried chicken, fried chicken, fried chicken and biscuits are absolutely delicious, and they didn't flee anywhere because my family still lives in the South, and we live in the North, and we live in the West. See, we're still grounded and we're still rooted all over the United States. My family is still in the South. See, we didn't flee. And plus, this is our country, so we can move around freely in the country that we built. All of this is our.
Notice they keep trying that lame ass "you fled from the South" talking point, as if going from the South to anywhere else is outside of our country. Some of this stuff, man, tell us, please work on your material. Get your talking points together, because you sound like blithering idiots when you say that. We are citizens of this country. We can go any place in it we want to. This is our land. Okay, there's no fleeing because we move from one place to another within our country. Okay, that looks y'all got bigger problems to worry about than us. Cause see, this boy right here, he needs to start trying to figure out who his family lineage is, so he's not so confused. And you know what? He might not have anybody that can do that for him, because I'll wager this. Judging by how whiny he is, his dad probably don't have nothing to do with him. I hate to go here, but a lot of times when you see Zaddy go knock up these women from these other lineages, Zaddy don't stick around to be a family man. I guarantee, look, Zaddy Zaddy was the first baby daddy, okay? That's what Zaddy was doing. You know, he made kids and don't take care of them all around the world. That's what he do. So I guarantee you that's this boy's situation, just judging by how he's whining to another man. Pathetic, man. Let's let it continue.
Our country, sir. We didn't flee to a whole new nation to get sworn in and leave what we built behind. You see?
A lot of you activists are fleeing. You're fleeing to Brazil. You're fleeing to Colombia, Japan,
No,
China.
sir. No,
Fleeing
we're not fleeing in love. You have one or two people who might leave, but you guys have whole caravans of y'all fleeing here. Sir, have you seen the footage of your people, your fellow tethers? It's by the thousands. Y'all have whole parades of people on their way here fleeing, sir. That ain't comparable to like one or two people going to Brazil. That ain't comparable, sir. You're always trying to make somebody a fleer like you. It doesn't work.
Okay, Mr. Nasheed, let me ask you a question. If a bunch of Black Canadians flee Canada, is that foundational Black Americans fleeing? So if a bunch of Haitians flee Haiti or Jamaica, or a bunch of Jamaicans flee, is that the same? Because different country, that's a different.
Okay, yeah. Let me land this point. He's just babbling at this point. His babbling just got real boring all of a sudden. All right. Some of that flee coping. A lot of people have to cope with fleeing. It's hard, so they got to do a lot of babble in order to cope with fleeing.
And there you have it, family. Let me say this to the tether class. What you just heard here tonight on this broadcast, you should be ashamed of your folks, man. Especially when you come in amongst us trying to pretend to be us and then try to call shots in our lineage. It's our lineage, our rules, okay? You're not going to be able to do that. You don't have the right to instruct anybody on anything when you leave from a place and never go back. And then you don't even try to build or help anybody else while you're over here. You can't quarterback anything to us. You can't call any plays. You don't have the authority or the experience or the will to do it. Because if something gets tough, you going to put them Fleet Force Ones on and skedaddle. That's what you do. Okay? You get it together. We wish you well. But we're not concerned with what you got going on. We're focused on our own people, our business, okay? That's the way it's going to be from here on out in 2024. You're going to eat what you kill. No more free plates, no more free rides. You're going to roll up your sleeves and put in your own work. That's what our people had to do. And the longer that you delay it, well, I guess that's going to be the longer it takes for you to get what you need. But we're not playing that game. Time is not a luxury that we have to wait. So, with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, salute to all of you that contributed to the broadcast tonight. Thank you very much for being over here. You could have been anywhere, but you chose to be over here taking in this information. Use it as you see fit. And remember that our empowerment is up to us, okay? And each one is going to support the other. We don't do the gender warring. We're not doing any of this goofiness where we ignore things that we need to take care of, like racism and white supremacy, because we're at a critical point in our history where we can change this thing around, man. We got the knowledge. We got, enough of us on code to get things done. And anybody that's short of any type of skill set or doesn't have the answer, that's what your family is for over here in New Black Media Spaces. So with that said, salute to everybody. Take care of yourselves. Black first. And I will see you all in future content.
This is the 50th anniversary of hip-hop, and we still have a lot of discrepancies as far as the origins of hip-hop, a lot of claims, who did what, who was the first this, who was the this and that, and such. But at the end of the day, we need a definitive story, all right? And that story can only be told by the founders of this culture.
Like everything was being driven and influenced by young, Black, American culture, like the slang, the style of dress, the initial music that we chose.
You look at all the boroughs, you got, money making Manhattan and money earning Mount Vernon and Crooklyn. The Bronx was the boogie down Bronx. We was partying up there.
I am Coke LaRock, the first MC of hip hop. First cat to pick the mic up.
I introduced rapping to the turntable because when I came with it, Nobody in the world was doing it. I'm right after Rudy Ray Moore.
They want to come in the mix. They want to say, we started. No, you didn't. No, you didn't. No, you didn't. What came to be known as hip hop was solely an African-American creation.
What would you get out of some Jamaican toast? What is that? I've never heard of a rapper use a Jamaican toast or a Jamaican flow as a rhyme. I never heard of it, and I don't know where that myth came from.
My name is legendary King Trixie from the Bronx, BX from the West Side. I am the first break dancer.
And that narrative that hip hop has had 3 founding fathers, that's been rolling for the last almost 30 years, which isn't true. You don't have just 3 people who created hip hop. Hip hop was created by a number of different people.
I am the grandfather, the godfather of the graffiti culture. I am the first element of hip hop.
The roots of hip hop being Jamaican, absolutely false.
My name is MC Sha-Rock. I am a founding member of the MC/rap culture.
Cassette tapes was the internet of our time. It just traveled around by hand.
I know for a fact that the B-boy stand started from the guards, the 5%ers that would be at the jams back in the days who were acting as security.
If they get the real truth of how it all was created, then so many lies would not be able to be in existence.
So when we talk about hip hop and what it is, it's an extension of the music and the instrumentation that our forefathers created.
Check out the live stream premiere of the documentary short, It's Bigger Than Hip Hop, The Black American Family Tree, and Q&A, a fundraiser to create a series detailing music's evolution. Go to DewanB.com for streaming passes and crowdfunding.